Doomsday, my Godhead space is infinite. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1, surprisingly Reborn. I'm not reconciled. Leng Mingyue slowly opened his eyes, feeling a splitting headache. Where am I? In 2040, the zombie virus broke out in the world. Leng Mingyue struggled to survive in the last days. He did not awaken the fire ability until the second year. How many times he passed by the god of death. After 8 years of hard work, he finally stood at the peak of human beings. Cultivated the fire ability to level 10. There are rumors that, if you upgrade to level 11, you can become a god, and you can completely wipe out the zombies on the earth. When Leng Mingyue broke through the 11th level, and was about to succeed, his brother and his favorite woman stood behind him, and gave him a fatal blow. Leng Mingyue looked around. It seemed to be a university dormitory. Where am I? The last memory is his brother Li Ming attacking him with level 9 ice power and his woman Zhaozu with level 9 gold power at the same time. Leng Mingyue, who had crossed the 11th level with one kick, was pulled back again. I'm not dead. Looking around, memories flooded, and then I remembered that this is the dormitory in college. Leng Mingyue pinched his thigh. Hiss, it hurts. I'm reborn. Picking up the mobile phone next to the bed shows November 10th. 2040, which is back to 10 years ago, and there are 3 days before the end. Haha, God gave me a chance. I want revenge. Li Ming and Zhaozu is a bitch. Sitting up from the bed, I found a fingernail-sized fragment in my hand. What is this? The fragment suddenly floated up and flew into Leng Mingyue's forehead in an instant. Fuck. What is this? She won't be taken away right after she was resurrected. When I was in college, I read a lot of novels. After getting up and moving around, I don't feel much. There are scenes of rebirth, and no matter how strange things are, I can accept them. What exactly flew into my head? I couldn't figure it out. I picked up the mineral water on the table and wanted to take a sip, but suddenly the mineral water disappeared, and I looked confused. Feeling something extra in the head. Leng Mingyue closed his eyes and sensed the head. What is this? There is a small thatched cottage behind one space. A piece of information appeared in my mind. It turned out that Leng Mingyue was attacked when he was about to become a god. The not yet fully formed Godhead protected Leng Mingyue's consciousness and returned to 10 years ago, and then he was reborn. After reading the information, I began to observe this space. According to my visual inspection, it is close to 100 acres, which is very spacious. I walked into the thatched cottage with a table, a chair, and a bed. There is a small well next to it. Inside the well is a spiritual spring. Every day, 10 pieces of Godhead fragments will flow out. Jin liquid. According to Leng Mingyue's level, the production of ectoplasmic liquid will also increase, and the outer space will also expand accordingly. Open your eyes and take a long breath. Finally understand the reason for rebirth. There are still 3 days before the end of the world. This time I am prepared. I can't live so hard anymore. Think carefully. Take care of those who have bullied me and betrayed me one by one. Liquidation. Thinking back to the dormitory, it was a 4-person dormitory with only 3 people living there, besides myself and my good brother Li Ming from the previous life. There is also Kai Jun. Kai Jun is a 200 Jin fat man. The relationship between the 3 before the end of the world was very good, but because Kai Jun was too fat and too slow to survive the early days of the end of the world, Li Ming followed him to the top of the world, and he only cared about his cultivation, so he didn't know when he hooked up with his woman together in this life. I want to lose weight for Fatty Kai and solve Li Ming's problem in advance. Li Ming and Fatty Kai were not in the dormitory this weekend. Leng Mingyue found a notebook and pen and began to record some important opportunities and important people in his previous life. The most important things to survive in the last days are weapons, food, supplies, and means of transportation, all of which are written in the notebook. Chapter 2, stockpile 100 tons of vegetables first. After looking at the time, it is already past 6 PM, and the record is almost done. I will write it down when I think about it and put the notebook into the Shenge space point. It's so convenient to have anytime space. I poured another cup of hot water and put it in to see if the Shenge space could keep it fresh. After about an hour, I took it out, but it was still hot to the touch, and the temperature did not drop. The Godhead space should be static in time, so that the things put in will not be afraid of deterioration. My stomach is growling. Fill my stomach. Before thinking about the next step, Leng Mingyue came to the cafeteria, smelled the aroma of vegetables, and took a deep breath. Being able to eat a bag of instant noodles in the last days is definitely the happiest thing. Quickly went to the window and said to the lady in the cafeteria, "First, bring me 2 chicken legs, 1 piece of braised pork, 1 piece of stewed beef, another deep fried prawn, and 2 bowls of rice." The aunt looked at Leng Mingyue alone and said, "Young man, if you order so much by yourself, it won't be a waste. Usually, one person can be full with 1 dish." I didn't want to explain more to my aunt, so I said, "We eat in the same dormitory, not me alone." The aunt also stopped talking and cooked food quickly and found a corner where there was no one and started to gobble it up. Although it is no problem to eat, when the level is high in the later stage, the number of mutated animals increases in the later stage, and the size is large, but the ingredients for cooking are not complete, and it is still not as delicious as it is now. Back in the dormitory, I caressed my pregnant belly. I'm an ordinary person now, so I should eat less in the future, so as not to be stuffed to death. It is uncomfortable to put such a large space without some supplies. Opened the mobile phone online banking to check how much money he had left, looked at the balance of 15,323 yuan, and silently turned off the phone. I just came out of the orphanage to work and study, and I went to college after adding student loans. If you don't have money, you can store supplies. Just as he was thinking, the door of the dormitory was pushed open, and Li Ming and Fatty Khan came back. Fatty Khan asked, "Has Mingyue eaten?" Leng Mingyue gave Li Ming a cold look and replied, "I've eaten." Li Ming didn't find Leng Mingyue's hostility. Fatty Khan turned on his computer and started playing games. Leng Mingyue started searching for nearby supplies with his mobile phone. Although he didn't have money to buy, would he still need money after the end of the world? How happy it is to buy 40 yuan. There is a vegetable market about 2 kilometers away from the school. Although there are vegetables in the vegetable market, there are many people. Because the vegetables have the shortest shelf life, the vegetables are collected first. I also checked several vegetable wholesale markets. Where are the grain depots, hardware stores, clothing wholesale markets, and water plants? These are urgently needed supplies after the end of the world. I looked at the time, and it was already 11 o'clock in the evening. I haven't slept peacefully for many years, and I'm always on guard against the surprise attack of zombies. It was a very comfortable sleep. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Li Ming called to get up for dinner and go to class, but Leng Mingyue ignored him and continued to sleep. It's the end of the world. What class do you still have? I slept until 9:30 in the morning and got up to tidy up and took a taxi to the vegetable wholesale market. Turned around. Look at how many exits there are, how many commanding heights there are, and how many large cold storages there are in this market. Most of them are all kinds of meat. Then I took a taxi to the grain depot, where about 250,000 tons of rice, 100,000 tons of corn, and 100,000 tons of wheat are stored. It is very big. If I take it all away after the apocalypse, I will not be able to eat it in 10 lifetimes. Leng Mingyue wiped his saliva and returned to the dormitory. These plans can only be collected after the outbreak of the end of the world. I found a place in the school where no one was around. In my previous life, I was a fire type supernatural power. When I reached the 10th level, I waved a 100-meter sea of flames, which was quite powerful. He wants to try to see if he can awaken his abilities in advance in this life. Close your eyes to sense the fire element. Slowly gather it in your hand and use your mental power to control it to form a fireball with a diameter of 10 centimeters. And it is done. Sure enough, the fire ability from the previous life is still there, but the power is too small. I have to practice from scratch. At this moment, he remembered that he still had spiritual spring water, and to see how it would improve him, he extracted a bowl of spiritual spring water with his mental strength and drank it. It was sweet and refreshing. Slowly, like a ball of fire slowly burning in the stomach. The muscles, bones, skin, and flesh of the whole body seemed to be burning, and he gritted his teeth in pain. It took about 10 minutes for the pain to subside slowly. Shit. Is this liquid poisonous? It's not for drinking. At this time, Leng Mingyue found that there were a lot of black impurities coming out of his body, so he hurried back to the dormitory and washed it well. Could it be washing the tendons and cutting the marrow? Feel comfortable. Run the fire element again, and a fireball with a diameter of more than 1 meter appeared in my hand, almost igniting the dormitory, so I quickly accepted the ability. It seems that liquid is still a good thing, and it greatly improves the ability. The current fireball is estimated to be level 3. The strength is also nearly doubled. I didn't go out the next day. Now it's very convenient to check information on the internet. I need to check some more information, as well as maps of the whole country. I found a printing shop, printed them out, and put them in the change space. After tossing around, it was dark. Back to school. After a satisfying meal in the cafeteria, I will sleep in the dormitory, preparing for the end of tomorrow. On the morning of the third day, 80 people around the world will turn into zombies at 9 o'clock. At 8:50, Leng Mingyue is already in the largest vegetable wholesale market and can't wait. Some of the warehouses are too big, and Leng Mingyue has already closed some of them, so I can't tell from the front. Hurry up. No one can stop me from collecting vegetables. There are a lot of people in the wholesale market at this point. Thinking about where to start killing so many zombies. If it weren't for drinking the spiritual spring yesterday, the ability was strengthened, and the physical fitness was improved, I would not have dared to wait in such a dense crowd. At exactly 9 o'clock. Suddenly, an aunt who bought vegetables turned white and threw herself at the owner who sold vegetables, biting her. There were still a lot of people watching the excitement, and more people began to turn into zombies, and the crowd became chaotic. Some people were crying, and some people called the police with their mobile phones. Regardless of the panicked crowd, Leng Mingyue clapped his hands and began to work, avoiding the crowd, and came to a semi-trailer truck pulling potatoes. All the potatoes in the cart were collected in the change space. Haha. Not only a lot of land was collected, but also a car. Post-apocalyptic cars are also a very precious resource. I found another semi-trailer for pulling cabbage. This one is a little less, so I only have a half truck, so I don't mind taking it away. At this time, those who can run have almost run away, and the rest are zombies and those who have been bitten and cannot run. 2 zombies ran towards this side, waved a fireball, and exploded. The 2 zombies continue to collect vegetables. Pumpkins are taken away. Tomatoes are my favorite. Cucumbers are good enough, thick enough, long enough. Ahem. Take away the beans. More than 100 tons of various vegetables have been harvested. At this time, there is no one in the vegetable market, and the dangling zombies are walking towards this side. They cannot be harvested. The zombies must be eliminated before continuing to work. It's a pity that there are too few vegetables in the cart. Chapter 3: The Little White Rabbit in the Carrot Pile. Human beings have just turned into zombies. Their movements are stiff and their movements are slow. A dozen zombies were walking towards this side. Leng Mingyue stepped into a relatively large shop, and there were also a lot of vegetables in this shop, so they put them all away. I found a steel bar about 15 meters behind the door, and held it in my hand, which was quite easy. Although the fire ability has been activated, the first level ability can cast about 10 fireballs. The zombies that have just become are easy to kill, so keep the ability for emergencies. At this time, the zombie had already arrived at the door, and he picked up the steel bar and stabbed it between the eyebrows of the zombie. The crystal nuclei have not yet formed in the zombie's head, and it will take half a month for different colored crystal nuclei to form in the zombie's head. At that time, the zombies were upgraded to level 1. Different colors have different abilities. They are divided according to gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. Red is fire, gold is gold, blue is water, green is wood, and brown is fire. Soil system. The vast majority are white crystal nuclei, and the speed and strength of zombies with white crystal nuclei will increase. Only one colored crystal nucleus can appear in 100 zombies. After easily disposing of the dozen or so zombies, they went to the vegetable market again. I also saw a small box of goods. I opened it and saw that it was a car of onions. It was not bad. This small car was estimated to be 1 ton, which is less. Take it away, and take it away with the car and the goods. I almost took away the wall covering, and when the mice came, they would leave with tears in their eyes. The next one. This is a seasoning shop. This one is good. A bag of 100 catties of salt. There are about 20 bags, 50 boxes of soy sauce and vinegar. 200 boxes of various hot pot bases. This is good. I wiped my saliva. If I can have a hot pot meal in the last days, it would be beautiful to think about. Xanthoxylum star anise, cinnamon bark, fragrant leaves. I don't look at them in detail. I even put them away on the shelves so that they will be easy to find for future use, and the harvest will be full for the next family. A few more zombies gathered at the door, and now killing zombies without a crystal nucleus is a waste of energy, so they went around to the back window and jumped out, successively closing in more than a dozen smaller stores. Basically all kinds of vegetables are available, and I walked to a very large cold storage in the middle of the wholesale market. The zombies in Leng curry were eliminated, and the cold storage was opened. There were rows of pork inside. The cold storage was very large, estimated to be about 100 tons. It is a beauty to be able to eat a meal of braised pork at the end of the day. After collecting this cold storage, I opened a smaller one next to it, which contains beef and mutton, about 50 tons. It is no problem to eat meat every day. After collecting these, there was a sound on the second floor of the cold storage. Leng Mingyue slowly went up the stairs. It turned out that there were 3 people on the second floor, a cleaning aunt with a mop, a young lady with a computer, and a 40-year-old woman who seemed to be the proprietress. Seeing Leng Mingyue coming up, the woman asked, "Are you here to save us?" Leng Mingyue, well, I'm here to visit the vegetable market. Excuse me, goodbye. What else does the woman say? Leng Mingyue hurried downstairs and emptied out other people's cold storage. So let's run. I didn't intend to save people, and the safe zone has not yet been established, so it's the same everywhere. It will take 2 months for the military to start to establish a safety zone. The small personal safety zone may be earlier, but it is not safe. Several stores have been closed one after another. I found another larger store, and when I entered, I saw that it was a radish wholesale store. This shop is full of radishes, white radishes, crispy radishes, red radishes, carrots, a lot. Just as he was about to enter the space, he suddenly saw a little white rabbit on the pile of carrots, holding a carrot, while gnawing on it. While looking at Leng Mingyue, his eyes were very agile. It can be seen that this rabbit has mutated and already has an IQ. The mutated rabbit meat must be delicious, so I want to grab the spicy rabbit meat for dinner. The steel bar swung towards the rabbit, and the rabbit suddenly disappeared, and I got a big fuck. What's the situation? Very rare space type mutant beasts. In the last 10 years, the number of space type people and beasts I have seen can be counted with 2 hands. If you can catch it as a pet, you can wake up with a smile in your dreams. After chasing around the house for half an hour with a steel bar, it took several fireballs to fail to catch up with the rabbit. Leng Mingyue was so tired that he squatted at the door sticking out his tongue, and the little white rabbit was still gnawing on carrots. How can we catch and subdue this rabbit? Chapter 4 Back to School. Can't keep up with the damn rabbit. I don't want you anymore. Put all the radishes in this warehouse into the Godhead space. The rabbit suddenly saw that the carrot he liked had disappeared, so he stood up suddenly. Leng Mingyue chuckled. I can't catch you. I think you have nothing to eat. What should I do? This wholesale market has already collected almost all of them, and there are still some scattered ones, leaving some for the survivors. There are too few scattered ones. It is not worth the time. There will be better ones later. When he came out, he found the rabbit following him. It seems that you have a good idea. If you have no food, you still have to follow me obediently. He took out a carrot from the Godhead space and shook it at the rabbit. If he wanted to eat the carrot, he followed his brother, and the carrot would be enough in the future. Look at the rabbit is not moving. It suddenly occurred to him that the spiritual spring of space had greatly improved himself, and would it also have an effect on mutant beasts? Next to it is a shop selling pots and pans. There are many plates and bowls in it. After the apocalypse, the tools for eating have been lost, so I found a small bowl. He took a bowl of linguine and put it on the ground, then took a few steps back. The rabbit came over cautiously, smelled it and began to drink, drinking faster and faster. Rabbits have very weak intestines and stomachs, so they must drink very clean water. Of course, linguine water is definitely no problem. After drinking, he walked to the feet of Leng Mingyue and rubbed his calf with his body. Hey, you are a rabbit, you are not a cat. It seems that this spiritual spring is very attractive to mutant beasts, said to the rabbit. If you still want to drink, follow me and be my pet. I saw the rabbit nodded. Could it be that linguine can also increase the IQ of the mutant beast? Maybe after drinking for a while, the rabbit will be able to talk. Now that you've decided to follow me, I'll give you a domineering name. I'll call it Universe Invincible Little White Rabbit. How about it? The rabbit gave Leng Mingyue a blank look, as if talking idiots. Leng Mingyue saw the rabbit's expression. Okay, let's call it Xiaobei first, and change it later, when we have a better name. Rabbit. Is it so casual? Are you serious, Xiaobei? Let's go. Leng Mingyue is walking ahead. The protest is invalid. Leng Mingyue also took over all the bowl shops. Big bowls, small bowls, large and small plates, all kinds of long and short chopsticks, big and small spoons. We have a lot of space, and we charge for everything we need. The wholesale market has already collected almost all of it, and it has already accepted a mutant beast that knows the space system, which has already exceeded the task. It's getting dark now. Let's go back to school to see my 2 roommates, and get rid of Liming as soon as possible in this life. There is also Kai and Fatty, who can help avoid hordes of zombies and deal with a few sporadic ones. When we came to the road was now blocked and the cars were all crowded together. How to go back so far? There is no taxi. The current zombies are all level 0 and the crystal nucleus has not yet formed on the head. Those who are brave enough can now deal with the zombies. There is no way to go by car. I found a battery car on the side of the road. Well, this is a car anyway. Greetings. Xiaobei to sit in the front box, riding a small electric donkey to school. Suddenly thought that there were several 4S shops not far on the way back, or else I would pick up some cars along the way. There are also cars on the road, but they are all damaged, and many of them have bloodstains inside. The current zombies can't catch up with the battery car. Avoid the cars on the road. And bring Xiaobei close to the door of the 4S store. Not as crowded as the vegetable market. There are only 3 people here, and the blood is all over the floor. It should be that one person turned into a zombie and then bit the other 2. Command Xiaobei. Xiaobei looked at Leng Mingyue without moving. Hey, you are still not obedient to raising you with a spiritual spring. When I was talking to Xiaobei, the 3 zombies had already come over. There was no way to knock down the 3 zombies with a fireball. Okay, let's start to collect the car first. Look for the keys. I don't have the keys, and I don't know how to repair cars, and the car can't be opened. I found a lot of keys in a counter drawer. I put the corresponding keys in the car, and put them in the Godhead space. I'm quite satisfied with taking a few Wranglers and a few Great Wall Cannons. I'm very satisfied, and the rest of the cars are not worth mentioning. Hurry up and get rid of ordinary cars. The road conditions will be very bad in the future. We still need a few RVs. Even if we don't drive them, it would be nice to let them out every day, but unfortunately there aren't any here, so we'll collect them later. He came out with Xiaobei and finally arrived at the school before dark. But the zombies in the school are too dense. Even if the main character of the Reborn with a cheat goes in, he will still be delivering food. Seeing more than 1,000 zombies wandering around the school gate, they rode a small tram to the side fence, found a place without zombies and jumped in. Liming and Fatty Khan should be in class when the zombies broke out. Nothing happened, and this life should be fine. It's too late today. Let's find 2 more tomorrow. Both of them are in class, and there shouldn't be many zombies in the dormitory. When I went back to the dormitory downstairs, I saw that the uncle who was the gatekeeper had also turned into a zombie, and he saved the old man. When I got to the 3rd floor, there were a few students in the corridor who hadn't attended class. They smelled people and rushed over. Leng Mingyue didn't kill on the 3rd floor. It was disgusting to dirty the corridor, and I didn't want to live there. Bring the zombies to the first floor, and 2 more from the second floor, overtake them at the door of the dormitory building, and lock the door of the dormitory building. Back at the dormitory, I took Xiaobei with me, took a rest, had been hungry all day, and got something to eat, only to find that all the food I bought in the vegetable market was raw and there was nothing I could eat directly. I found a few packets of instant noodles in the dormitory, and there was still half a bottle of water in the thermos, which should be enough to boil the noodles. He took out 2 carrots, gave one to Xiaobei, and ate one by himself. I ate a pack of instant noodles. I took 2 bowls, and Xiaobei and I each had a bowl of Lingquan water. It was very comfortable to drink, and relieved the fatigue of the day. Only the first time you drank it, it had the effect of washing the essence and cutting the marrow. Drinking it again can only relieve fatigue. It should also speed up the recovery of the ability. Good stuff. Save a little more. Chapter 5, Dealing with Li Ming. It's not too late for a gentleman to take revenge for 10 years, but I take revenge from morning to night, and I've given Li Ming an extra 3 days of life. Lying in bed thinking about how to deal with finding Li Ming tomorrow. The end of the world has just passed, and humanity has not been completely wiped out. So you can't do it directly. Xiaobei jumped on Leng Mingyue's body. Alas, everyone else is a cat. I'm a rabbit. Fortunately, the rabbit is also very soft. Xiaobei's appearance is not bad. The whole body is snow white. There were roars and howls outside from time to time that night. Find a closet and block the door tightly. Gradually fell asleep. At 8 o'clock in the morning, I was still hesitating whether to go to the teaching building or the cafeteria first. There is no hot water anymore, and I can no longer eat instant noodles. Let's go to the cafeteria first, get something to eat, so that I can work hard. There are more zombies wandering around the campus than yesterday. It must be the students who ran out last night and lured the zombies out. Now I only have a 1st level ability. Although I drink the spiritual spring water to strengthen it, I can deal with dozens of zombies no problem. I looked outside and there are at least a few hundred. I took Xiaobei up to the top floor, where some students secretly drank beer bottles. The cafeteria was in the north of the dormitory. I took a few bottles to the south gate and threw them out vigorously. The sound was too low, and only a few nearby ones were attracted. This doesn't work. I'm looking for one with a louder sound, but I couldn't find it after turning around. At this time, I thought that in the Godhead space, many people collected cars yesterday, took out a car that didn't look pleasing to the eye, and threw it from the top floor. There was a huge sound. Attract the zombies. Picking up Xiaobei, he rushed downstairs, jumped out from the window of the north gate, avoided a few zombies, and rushed into the cafeteria. When the zombies broke out, they were in class, and there were only chefs in the cafeteria. Find the back kitchen and quickly deal with a zombie wearing a chef uniform. After searching around, the food from yesterday morning was no longer edible. Alas, I have to do it myself. There are still a lot of kitchen reserves in schools with tens of thousands of people. Although the electricity has been cut off, the vegetables and meat in the refrigerator are not damaged yet. Grain, rice, noodles, oil, salt, soy sauce and vinegar are readily available, and the most important thing is that there are more than a dozen half-person high gas tanks with room for income. I will use gas for cooking in the future. And there are shredded cakes in the freezer. Let's make a simple one. Egg fried pancakes in the future. I can cook anywhere. Although I can't cook anything delicious by myself, it is no problem to fill my stomach. 15 minutes to cook and eat. In the last life, on the 3rd day of the last days, someone drove away from the school gate and accidentally bumped into an oil tank truck. The violent explosion attracted some zombies from the school, and they ran out from the toilet of the teaching building. They survived only after reaching the school's small supermarket. The school is already in the suburbs, and the chances of surviving outside the school are still very high. I can't wait in this life. There are still many materials with a short shelf life waiting to be collected. If it weren't for Li Ming's obsession, I wouldn't want to come back after leaving school. Now I have to find Li Ming and kill him before collecting supplies. The car noise was very effective in attracting zombies just now. After leaving the cafeteria, I found a few teachers' private cars piled them up in front of the teaching building, then ignited them with the fireball technique, and ran to the side to hide, waiting for the cars to explode point. After waiting for about 10 minutes, the first car finally exploded. The loud sound shattered many glass windows in the teaching building. Many zombies rushed out, and some jumped from the broken windows on the second and third floors. The zombies rushed out to the front of the explosion, and Leng Mingyue climbed into the teaching building through the back window, and went up to the 5th floor. In their last life, they hid in the bathroom on the 5th floor, smoked and closed the door, so that they survived. Point looking down from the window, there are already over 1,000 zombies in the square in front, so it is not easy to escape when going downstairs. Thinking of this, he took out 2 gas tanks from the Godhead space and threw them down from the 5th floor. The huge explosion blasted many zombies away. Slowly and completely, they rushed over and threw 2 from the right side of the window. There were not many zombies who could stand up. They walked to the door of the men's toilet and pushed it, but it couldn't be pushed. Sure enough, there was something blocking it. He knocked on the door and said, "Is there anyone inside?" A trembling voice came from inside. "Are you a human or a zombie?" "Nonsense. Can zombies talk? Open the door and I'll save you." There was the sound of moving heavy objects inside. The door opened, and there were 6 people and 2 girls inside. Did I go to the wrong toilet? Inside, Fatty Khan hugged Leng Mingyue. "Brother Leng, uncle, you scared me to death. What's going on? Why do people become like this?" Li Ming also came over, looking quite frightened. Leng Mingyue looked at it, thinking about attracting a few zombies to see if he could be killed. This is not a place to talk. There are too many people in the teaching building, although I attracted some of them with the explosion. But there are still a lot of people in each class. Let's go to the dormitory first. There are few zombies there. No one has any objections. After Leng Mingyue finished speaking, they all rushed downstairs. When I got to the 1st floor, I saw some zombies wandering outside. I arranged the order for everyone. The distance is not far. The girl is in the front and the fat guy is in the middle. Li Ming and the other 2 boys are in the back. I'm in the back. Leng Mingyue ordered. Although Li Ming and the other 2 boys were reluctant, there was no way to be sure that someone was behind. Several people went out quietly. The fire in front has been extinguished. Many zombies have been killed, and some are wandering. A few people hadn't run a few steps before a zombie found out and rushed over roaring. In fact, the zombie didn't run fast. Leng Mingyue grabbed Li Ming with one hand and said in a low voice, "My leg is cramped. Give me a hand." Seeing that the zombies had come, Li Ming wanted to break free, but Leng Mingyue's hands were like iron tongs, and he couldn't break free. Pulling back hard, Li Ming had already been thrown into the crowd of zombies. Leng Mingyue quickly caught up with Fatty Khan and the others. They were all running forward and no one turned back. At this time, Li Ming's scream was heard. Shouted loudly, "Leng Mingyue, why?" At this time, everyone looked back and saw that Li Ming had been thrown down. Leng Mingyue pretended to go back to rescue Li Ming, but was caught by Fatty Khan and another boy. Several people rushed into the dormitory and quickly blocked the door with heavy objects. Leng Mingyue lowered his head, feeling a little depressed. Of course the heart is super happy. Chapter 6 Searching the school supermarket. The iron door of the dormitory was slapped, but level 0 zombies still couldn't break through the door. Several people went up to the 3rd floor and took a rest. Fatty Khan said that there was no food or water, and we had been locked in the toilet for a day and a night. There is a lot to eat, but I can't take it out now. It is inevitable that the 5 people in front of me have bad intentions. I don't have any food. I went to save you when I got up in the morning, and I didn't eat. Leng Mingyue said. A girl timidly said, "I know where to eat. There are many in the supermarket next to the girls' building. But I'm afraid there will be zombies." Leng Mingyue explained to everyone, "The zombies now move very slowly. The speed is just like a normal person's trot, and they don't have much strength. As long as you have the courage, you can kill them. In this way, everyone will rest for 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes, all of them will go to the small supermarket." The faces of the 2 girls turned pale. "Can we not go? Just bring some back for me. We girls eat less." Leng Mingyue sat on the bed and hugged Xiao Bei while stroking the rabbit and said, "You don't have to go if you don't want to, but whoever gets it back belongs to you. No one will give you food. It's the end of the world. Zombies don't distinguish between men and women. Accept it sooner. This world. After finishing speaking, he ignored the two girls and closed their eyes to rest. Think about it for a while and come back from the small supermarket. Prepare enough supplies for them, and I will definitely go out. There are too few supplies in the school, and other survivors will also go to get them, let alone not many. Where to go next? There is a seafood market farther away. I also passed a gas station. Gasoline and diesel are important supplies. 20 minutes passed quickly. Leng Mingyue was holding steel bars in his hand. Several other people also prepared weapons, table legs, bed frames, and two girls were also holding a fruit knife and a basin. Forget about the fruit knife. What kind of trouble is this basin of yours going to do? No matter what weapons they used, when they went downstairs and saw a few zombies at the door, Leng Mingyue opened the door to show them and wiped out the zombies in a few strokes. Fatty Khan stepped forward and said with a smile, "So it's so simple. I'll try it in a while." A large number of zombies were still in the teaching building, and they ran all the way to the supermarket. There were only 2 salesmen in the supermarket because of the class. It was easy to solve. Several people prepared a big school bag each and began to pack it into the school bag. Fatty Khan stuffed it into his mouth while loading it. Everyone packed a full bag, and Leng Mingyue thought about it but didn't take all of them away. A few delicious things, such as chicken legs, chocolate, and candies, were all gone. They didn't notice that more than half of the items on the shelves were missing. There are some instant noodles and bread left. Leave some for those who come after. The main reason is that I don't like these things. There are a lot of vegetables and meat in my space, and I have to collect seafood and food. When my space is full and I can't fit good things, I will be depressed. Several people were carrying school bags and carrying 2 plastic bags in their hands, looking out at the entrance of the supermarket. Fatty Khan was fat and packed a lot of things, so he couldn't run at all. A few people walked cautiously, but they were still discovered by zombies. They roared over, attracting more than a dozen zombies from afar. Seeing that something was wrong, Leng Mingyue snatched the 2 plastic bags from Fatty Khan, shouted to everyone to run, and then used steel bars to knock down the 2 nearest zombies, and also ran. Without any risk, he ran into the dormitory and locked the iron door. Several people climbed to the 3rd floor. They all collapsed on the ground, gasping for breath. Leng Mingyue also pretended to breathe a few times. He said to everyone, "This is the end of the world, and it will be like this every day in the future. You should be prepared." Several people looked ugly. After resting for half an hour, the time is now around 11:30, and he said to Fatty Khan, "This place is safe for the time being. You can try to kill the zombies when you have nothing to do. I have to go out and have something to do." Hearing that Leng Mingyue was leaving, several people panicked. "No one can help you. Only you can help yourself. In the next time, get familiar with and accept killing zombies as soon as possible, because this will be something you will do every day in the future." Chapter 7 Collecting 100 tons of seafood. The sunshine at noon was good, and there were not many zombies in front of the teaching building, and they had already dispersed. Take Xiaobei to the place where the battery car is stopped. Damn it. Someone stole my battery car battery. It's the end of the world. Are the thieves still so dedicated? Leng Mingyue didn't know that after the outbreak of zombies, the power was completely cut off. Some survivors saw the battery car, took out the battery, connected a light bulb, and used it for lighting at night. The finished thing doesn't have a battery car. Do you have to walk? Although the zombies don't run fast, running is very tiring. Okay, go ahead and see if you can still find a means of transportation. After walking about a kilometer, I saw a motorcycle. This one is good. It can walk on ordinary narrow roads, and it is faster than a battery car. Lift it up. The key is inserted. Turn on the ignition and ride away. Very good. Beautiful. But there are also disadvantages. This motorcycle is used to bomb the streets, and the sound can be heard across several streets. Zombies haven't evolved yet, and it's still fine at level 0. When the level is higher in the future, with such a big noise, you can't ride them anymore. with a motorcycle. I rode quickly to the seafood market point. I have checked the route before. If there are too many traffic jams on the road and I can't get around, I will put it in the Godhead space and save it for smashing zombies in the future. Along the way, hundreds of cars were collected. I got off the motorcycle 2 kilometers away from the seafood market and put the motorcycle in the space. It can't be put outside. What if the gasoline is stolen and there is no transportation point, followed by a sightless zombie? Hurry up and enter the small alley next to it. There is no sound of motorcycles bombing the street, and the zombies slowly subside. It's better to use a battery car. It's quieter, and now it's in the urban area. The population is too dense, and there are a lot of zombies in the seafood market. Look at Xiaobei. Follow me for so long. If you are useless, I will stew you. Spicy rabbit meat. Xiaobei looked at Leng Mingyue pitifully. Go and run in the middle to lure the zombies away. There is another door in this seafood market. I will give you a bowl of spiritual spring water after completing the task. If you can't complete it, it will be gone today. Hearing the spirit spring water, Xiaobei jumped into the group of zombies. He jumped left and right and dragged the zombies half a street out of the seafood market. He disappeared. After waiting for a while, Xiaobei jumped back in a few flashes. It's still easy to use space type beasts. I used to lead them myself, but I will leave this glorious task to Xiaobei in the future. There is still half a street left to complete the task. Spirit spring water and carrots are all for you to eat. Xiaobei disappeared at the intersection with the zombies. Alas, it's really useful. There is not a single zombie on the empty seafood market road. There must be some in the shop. Then it is not a problem. At this time Xiaobei came back. Leng Mingyue poured him a bowl of liquid water, a carrot, let him eat by himself, started to work. The dead fish and shrimps placed outside can no longer be eaten, and there is a pool of carp at the back. How to catch this? There is no way. The pool is directly collected into the Godhead space. There is a big hole in the ground, which is amazing. The cement pool is collected directly, which is much more convenient. The fish will be suffocated to death when they enter the God space, but they will always be kept fresh, and they will be the same as freshly killed. The freshwater shrimp pond was taken away. There were hundreds of tilapias in the fish tank. They said that tilapia was an invasive species. I thought it was delicious. There is a cold storage at the back, which is Leng Mingyue's favorite. The cold storage can last for a few days, even if the power is cut off. When you open the cold storage, you can see rows and rows of hairtail and Spanish mackerel, which are estimated to be more than 40 tons. This cold curry is full of sea fish. Let's see if we can take away the cold storage together. Forget it after thinking about it. My Godhead space is limited, so I can't put these useless things. After receiving this store, I went out for a stroll. Other stores are not as big as this, but they all receive goods. A few large freezers of a few thousand catties were missing, and a few tons of small cold storage were collected. Dozens of them were closed. There was not a single cement pool left in this seafood market, and they all turned into earth pits, which was perfect. A total of more than 100 tons of various frozen fish and shrimps were received, and there was no way to count the live ones. There were more than 60 ponds. I'm so tired. Find a clean second floor and have a good rest. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8. Take the first team member. The workload in the seafood market is not small, so take a break upstairs and find a self-heating hot pot found in the school's small supermarket to replenish energy. The zombies in the seafood market were lured away by Xiaobei. Leng Mingyue saw a few survivors on the street, gathered together and ran out in a hurry. It seems that it has accidentally saved a lot of people. There are still many survivors, but they are all huddled in the corner as well. Go out. The food has been charged a lot. The car is also there, and now I need gasoline. While thinking about it, he walked outside to the street and saw groups of zombies release the street bomber from the Godhead space. Heading towards the gas station. There are too many zombies on the road. Fortunately, the movement is relatively slow, and I can't catch up with the motorcycle. The old method is that when there is still a distance from the gas station, put away the motorcycle first, get into the path where there are no people, and hold the steel bar, walk towards the gas station point. This weapon doesn't work, and ordinary knives don't work too well. Where is the magical fire axe in the Doomsday novel? There are relatively few zombies here at the gas station, and the fuel dispenser is not working, because there is no electricity for a long time. Someone in the next house seemed to be looking out. Leng Mingyue walked over, and when he opened the door, he saw a 185-foot tall man in security uniform, holding a fire axe in his hand. I'll go. I, the protagonist, haven't got the fire axe yet, so I'll let someone else get it first. Looking familiar, I suddenly remembered that this is the Power King of the Last Days, who breaks through all spells with one force. The Power King, the defense and strength are very powerful. The name should be Kim Feng. But he didn't grow to the end. In his previous life, when he was at level 8, he was cut to pieces by 3 zombie kings in order to protect his teammates and evacuate. I met Kim Feng a few times in my previous life, and I didn't have a close friendship, but I know that he is a very loyal person, so this is a good choice for a teammate. At this time, Kim Feng hadn't grown up yet, and he saw the nervousness on his face. Leng Mingyue said, "Don't be nervous, I'm a human, not a zombie." Only then did Kim Feng calm down. "Brother, you are the first person I saw. Are those outside the zombies mentioned on TV?" Kim Feng asked nervously. "Yes, there are zombies outside. It's the end of the world." When Leng Mingyue finished speaking, Kim Feng cried, "Then what to do? This doesn't look like the king of Li in the previous life. Follow brother. Brother will protect you. Take care of you. How can you think about it?" Actually, Kim Feng is several years older than Leng Mingyue, but Leng Mingyue wants to be the brother. Haha. Kim Feng hesitated for a while and said, "Okay, brother, I will follow you. 2 people must be stronger than 1 person. My name is Kim Feng. Brother, what's your name?" Leng Mingyue said 3 words lightly. Leng Mingyue said, "I need to get the gasoline out here, and now the power is out. Can you help me?" Kim Feng is the security guard here, so he is familiar with it. Kim Feng said, "There is a way. There is a backup generator here, but whichever car you want to fill up, I will fill it up for you." I'm not filling the car with gas. I want to get all the oil out here. Is there a way?" Leng Mingyue said, "There is an oil barrel behind." 2 people went outside. At this time 2 zombies wandered over. Kim Feng quickly backed away after seeing it and wanted to run. Leng Mingyue stepped forward and swung the steel bar 2 times to deal with it. Kim Feng, who watched, was stunned. "Wow, you are so amazing, boss." Kim Feng felt that choosing to follow Leng Mingyue was the right choice. Passed the fire axe in his hand to Leng Mingyue. "Brother, it should be easier for you to use this. You gave me. What did you use?" Kim Feng took out another handful from the corner. Leng Mingyue took the fire axe, and Leng Mingyue was about to tell Kim Feng some news, saying, "How does your body feel after the end of the world?" Kim Feng said, "I feel that my strength is much stronger." "Is this the supernatural power mentioned on TV?" Leng Mingyue said, "Yes, your ability should be strength enhancement. You awakened relatively early. It takes about 15 days for ordinary people to evolve. Of course, zombies will also evolve. Your talent is very high, and you will be very powerful in the future." Kim Feng was excited after hearing this. "Don't wake up the ability so early." The 2 went to the back and took a lot of oil drums, and there was an oil tank truck behind, which was good, and Leng Mingyue also wanted to show off. Touching the oil tanker with both hands, he entered the space of Godhead instantly. Kim Feng opened his mouth wide enough to put an egg in. Trembling, he said, "You have a spatial ability, because..." Kim Feng sacrificed himself for his teammates in his previous life. Such teammates must be core members in the future, so he told him his biggest secret. Of course, there is no way to get rid of so many balloons without letting Kim Feng know. Leng Mingyue, it is indeed a space ability. It can only store things, and has no attack power. It will be the capital for our survival in the apocalypse in the future, so don't tell anyone." Kim Feng nodded and said, "Don't worry, boss. Even if I die, I will not tell anyone this secret." He put away the oil drum with a wave of his hand, walked to the front of the tanker, and released the oil drum again. Qin Feng started the generator and began to fill up the empty barrels. The two of them struggled for 2 hours to get all the oil from the gas station and then put all the refueling equipment and generators that could be used into the Shenge space point. During the 2 hours of collecting oil, a few zombies wandered over to let Qin Feng practice his skills. Qin Feng is now a power user. Killing ordinary zombies is very easy. Qin Feng, boss, where are we going? Chapter 9. Near the shopping center collects materials. Where to go? Leng Mingyue began to calculate that a lot of vegetables, meat, and seafood had been collected, and there was still a large grain depot that had not yet been harvested, but there was no rush point because the shelf life of grain is relatively long and the grain depot is very large. Ordinary survivors cannot take too much at one time, and they are now in the city center, far away from the grain depot. Let's take a step and look at it first. There are more large supermarkets and shopping malls nearby. They collect more supplies. Now the zombies move slowly, and it is easier, Leng Mingyue said. Qin Feng was surprised and said, boss, you have collected so much gasoline, and there is still a tank truck. Isn't it full? Can you still collect it? Leng Mingyue said earnestly, my space is relatively large, and it is the capital for us to settle down in the future. Don't tell others, or it will cause trouble. Qin Feng quickly nodded. I definitely won't say it, brother Leng, don't worry. Holding Xiao Bei in their arms, the two left the gas station. Seeing 2 battery cars on the road, Leng Mingyue smiled. This is good, the speed is not bad, and the noise is small. Qin Feng was familiar with the neighborhood and said, there is a Yida shopping mall, which has everything you need for basic necessities, food, housing, and transportation. Qin Feng leads the way. If there are few zombies on the road, kill them. If there are groups of zombies, let Xiao Bei lead them away. Qin Feng saw Xiao Bei disappear suddenly, and then suddenly appeared in the front frame of Brother Leng's battery car. Nothing is simple. After more than 20 minutes, the two arrived at the entrance of Yida Mall. There were many zombies in the mall. Leng Mingyue took out his mobile phone, turned the volume to the maximum, put it in the middle of the first floor, and hid with Xiao Bei and Qin Feng. All the zombies became manic when they heard the sound. There were more than 400 zombies rushing out. They bit the phone into pieces, and the sound disappeared. Gradually, the zombies calmed down. Before the group of zombies dispersed, Leng Mingyue threw Xiao Bei over. Xiao Bei, is this something people do? Xiao Bei ran to the distance with more than 400 zombies. Leng Mingyue ran into the mall with Qin Feng and closed the door at this time. Xiao Bei was already squatting on a counter on the first floor. Hey, you still run fast. The first floor is for women's clothing. There are only 2 people in the team now, and there are no women, but there will definitely be some in the future. It is not tiring to work with men and women, so you can collect and store them with shelves and hangers further inside as children's clothing. Well, there may be children in the future. We can't let them go, and all of them will be included in the Godhead space. The innermost part is men's clothing. Sportswear is the best. It's comfortable to wear. Suits, well, you can't let it go. Jeans, coats, underwear, socks. This is enough to wear on the second floor. There is a supermarket on the left and electrical appliances on the right. First go to the supermarket. All kinds of wine, beer, white wine, red wine, all kinds of snacks, all kinds of daily necessities. What you need, what you don't need, as long as you see it, put it away. After 40 minutes of hard work, looking at the empty supermarket, Qin Feng stared blankly. At this time, 2 zombies jumped out from behind the shelf. One jumped at Leng Mingyue and the other at Qin Feng. Leng Mingyue dodges quickly, then takes out the fire axe from the space of Godhead and kills the zombies with 1 axe point. But Qin Feng didn't react in a daze. Leng Mingyue wanted to rescue, but it was too late. Just when Qin Feng was about to drink his hatred on the spot, Xiao Bei suddenly appeared between the zombie and Qin Feng, kicked the zombie with his feet, and kicked the zombie away. Qin Feng sat down on the ground, and Leng Mingyue stepped forward to deal with the zombies. Said to Qin Feng, this time you have to thank Xiao Bei well for saving your life. Qin Feng thanked Xiao Bei, and Leng Mingyue released 2 chairs and a table from the space of Godhead to take a rest and eat something. Leng Mingyue, now is the end of the day, and you may be attacked by zombies at any time. Be cautious and careful in the future. He took out a bowl, and poured Xiaobei a bowl of liquid water and a carrot point. Then I took out a gas tank, a gas stove, a chopping board, a knife, 2 potatoes, and about 5 kgs of beef. I have been eating instant noodles and self-heating pots for the past few days. Improve the food today. Stew beef with potatoes, and take 2 cucumbers. Chapter 10. Yoda Shopping Center collects supplies. Part 2. After eating, the two took a break. A small amount of spiritual spring water was added to the cooked rice. The two recovered quickly. Keep working. The supermarket was emptied, and the two of them went to the electric appliance side. Air conditioners, TVs, computers, induction cookers, and rice cookers are all temporarily unusable. They will only be used after the establishment of a large-scale safe zone. Put them away for the time being. When I found the mobile phone counter, I collected more than a dozen boxes of brand new and unopened mobile phones of various models. Charging treasure, data cable and box. I found something good that works now at a small counter that sells walkie-talkies. A total of about 200 walkie-talkies of various models were searched here. Dozens of drones were also found, which are very useful for attracting zombies and observing the terrain. The second floor was completely emptied, and the two went up to the third floor. There are 5 female zombies wandering here. Qin Feng volunteered to meet them. The power system, that evolved in advance, is still very powerful. After some fighting, these zombies were taken down, and it turned out that the third floor was full of cosmetics. The zombies are also all female. Keep these as well, and you can give them gifts when you have a girlfriend in the future. Receive, receive, receive. The old way is to collect the shelves directly and collect all the ones that have not been unpacked without looking at what is there, be it water, milk, or cream. Which is the model, what is the facial cleanser, all collected, and when to use it for classification. All kinds of lipsticks, all kinds of colors, and all kinds of big brands are all accepted. On the side of the upper floor is a counter for several high-end watches. What Longines, Cartier, which is Patek Philippe, Vacher and Constantin, Omega. These Leng Mingyues don't know each other. They didn't study the watches. They took everything they could see and asked Qin Feng to pick one. The watch will still be very useful in the future. Leng Mingyue also picked one with a price tag of 880,000. To check the time. The two took Xiaobei up to the 4th floor, where there was a children's playground and some children's toys. When they went upstairs, they saw 3 zombie corpses. It seems that there are survivors on the 4th floor. Leng Mingyue shouted at the door, "Is there anyone?" 2 men and 2 women came out from a dark corner. The 4 were very happy and finally saw a living person again. One of the girls boldly asked, "Are you the police who came to rescue us?" Leng Mingyue said, "It's the end of the world. The police don't have time to save people. Now they can only save themselves. It's just the end of the day, and the zombies are still relatively weak. You can survive if you are brave enough. We have cleaned up the zombies downstairs. You should run for your lives." A voice said, "There are zombies everywhere now. Where can we go?" Leng Mingyue thought for a while and said, "There is a marine barracks 20 kilometers north of the city." After 2 days of panic, a division of the garrison should have been cleaned up. You can go to the barracks. A safe zone should be established there. Soldiers will also go to the city to rescue. If you're lucky, you might run into one. After speaking, he used his backpack as a cover and took out 8 bottles of water and 8 pieces of bread from the Godhead space. Take these things and go quickly. That's all you can do to help. The 4 people were very grateful and went downstairs while eating. No one was delayed, so hurry up and work. There is no interest in the playground. These game consoles can be taken away. In the toy area, remote control cars, and lead zombie artifacts. All kinds of toys with lights and loudspeakers are taken away. The 4th floor was emptied, and the 5th floor was for catering, and the harvest was not much. Each store did not have much stock, but they were all relatively high-end, and some tables and chairs were taken away. Going up to the 6th floor is a movie theater. There is nothing good. I took away a few sets of professional projection equipment and some stereos. The 2 of them had been tossing for a day, and it was already past 9 o'clock in the evening. I won't change places today. I'll leave tomorrow morning. After collecting the materials from a shopping mall. Leng Mingyue's audit space has been enriched, and basically everything that can be used is available. Such a large shopping mall usually has a warehouse, and I will find the warehouse tomorrow. After finding an office, the two went in and locked the door and found several desks to block the door to prepare dinner. Qin Feng volunteered to cook. Leng Mingyue was very happy and took out the things that needed to be cooked, as well as some meat and vegetables. Let Qin Feng do it and taste how it tastes in an hour. Qin Feng cooked 3 dishes and steamed a pot of rice. The taste is not bad. It should be that they often cook by themselves. After the two of them finished their meal, they gave Qin Feng a bottle of water with Lingquan and Xiaobei a bowl of water and a carrot. Rabbits are still easy to raise, as long as there are carrots. Released 2 mattresses and 2 quilts from the Godhead space. It was already 11 o'clock after packing up. Both of them were a little sleepy. Leng Mingyue hugged Xiaobei. This night, the outside was not peaceful, and explosions were occasionally heard. The roar of zombies in the morning. The two packed up and went downstairs, and saw a large warehouse behind the mall. It can be said that this warehouse has more supplies than the mall. Qin Feng, boss, there are a lot of things here, and they are all packed into boxes, which can save space. Leng Mingyue nodded. It was more convenient, and he started to collect a lot of space, which was collected within an hour. The materials in my own space are too rich, and I can wake up with a smile when I sleep. Leng Mingyue made some calculations. Fatty Khan is still at school, there are no necessary supplies in the city, and he can go to collect food from the grain depot, and when he returns to school tomorrow, he will ask Fatty Khan if he wants to follow him, or go to the military camp in the north of the city. Safe place. Chapter 11. Back to school. To pick up Fatty money, pack it up, and get ready to go back to school. The two walked downstairs, and found that there were many zombies on the first floor. Could it be that the 4 people left without closing the door yesterday, or was it for other reasons? When I came to the second floor, I found that there were about 50 to 60 zombies on the first floor, but fortunately not too many. He took out a drone, flew it out, and played a loud sound, and all the zombies ran out, but there were still a few on the second floor and dozens on the first floor. In order to hone Qin Feng, let him be alone earlier. Leng Mingyue decided to fight out. The two of them each held a fire axe and walked down side by side. The zombies smelled the smell of strangers and rushed over. Both of them are supernatural beings, and they have been used to it for 2 days. Qin Feng picked up the fire axe and split a zombie's head in half with one axe. The blood splashed all over the body. Leng Mingyue didn't chop the head, but cut the neck from the side. Sprayed. The two were a little tired after more than 30 cuts. There were more than a dozen people gathered in front of the two of them. Leng Mingyue waved his hand and released 2 fireballs, blowing up the zombies, and the two of them had time to breathe a sigh of relief. Manpower is sometimes poor. In the army of zombies, one person's strength is limited. If you encounter potential and good-natured players, you should recruit more players. Qin Feng went forward to deal with the still struggling zombies, closed the door, and the two went up to the second floor. After fighting, both of them were a little tired, so they gave Qin Feng a bottle of diluted spirit spring water. The two rested for a while and started to set off. Now the zombies are still at level 0, and they can still walk on the street. After a few days of collective upgrade, walking on the street is looking for death. Leng Mingyue released 2 battery cars and drove towards the school. The speed of the battery cars was about 40 miles. The zombies couldn't catch up. The two came to the place where they climbed over the wall last time. Seeing the stolen battery car, Leng Mingyue quickly put the two into the Godhead space. The zombies in the school are all around the downstairs of the library. There must be survivors in the library. And it also made a sound. To attract the zombies, the two first went to the boys' dormitory to look for Fatty Khan. Seeing that the dormitory was not locked from the inside, the people inside should be safe, and Leng Mingyue left enough food for them when he left. Leng Mingyue kicked open the door of the dormitory building, and the two came to the 3rd floor. At this time, the person who heard the voice came out of more than a dozen people. It seemed that some classmates had come over in the past 2 days. Fatty Khan rushed out from the crowd and hugged him. Brother Leng, you just came back. I thought you were eaten by zombies. Pushing away Fatty Khan. Go away, you're the only one being eaten. After Entering the dormitory, he asked Fatty Khan how the past 2 days were going. Fatty Khan said, I killed more than a dozen zombies and saved some classmates, but there is not much to eat, and there are many people now. I see why there are so many zombies in the library. Do you know what's going on? Leng Mingyue asked. Fatty Khan. A few students were trapped upstairs. They called for help yesterday afternoon and attracted all the zombies. I didn't dare to go to rescue them, but someone saw that it seemed to be Huang Can, the school bell. If Huang Can is worth saving, Leng Mingyue asked everyone while thinking, what are your plans? Everyone looks at me, I look at you. They don't have any ideas. So many people can't bring them all. Leng Mingyue forms a team, and all of them must be the best of the best. Said to everyone, the military base in the north of the city has established a safe zone. You can go there to seek asylum. Everyone was very happy with military protection, and they were all happy to say that they would all go. Leng Mingyue looked at Fatty Khan and said, will you follow me or go to the safe zone? Fatty Khan was surprised. Brother Leng, aren't you going to the safe zone? Then where are you going? I still have a lot to do, Leng Mingyue said. Fatty Khan hesitated. In the early days of the end, many people think that the protection of the police and soldiers is the safest. It's normal for Fatty Khan to hesitate. Leng Mingyue said to Fatty Khan, if you want to go to the safe zone, go there. I will send you there. But when you get to the safe zone, I also suggest that you go out and kill zombies more, because it is the end of the day. No one can protect you. Only you are strong. It is the safest. At first, he planned to take Fatty Khan with him, but Fatty Khan hadn't awakened his powers yet, and his talent for supernatural powers was definitely not as good as Kim Feng's. I will definitely go to dangerous places often in the future. Go find opportunities. So it's best to send him to a safe zone. At this time, many branches appeared from a window on the 4th floor of the library. From the window, this is a wood type supernatural being. In the previous life, I heard that there was a powerful wood type supernatural being in the school, but I didn't know the name. Unfortunately, he was killed by zombies before he grew up. Does any of you know how to drive a bus? With so many people, it is most convenient to drive a bus if you want to send them to a safe area. At this time, a boy raised his hand and said, my dad drives a bus. I often watch it and occasionally sneak around, so I should be able to drive it. It is good. Qin Feng, you and this classmate go to the back of the teaching building to drive a bus. The key is probably in the driver's office next to it. Look for it. I will make noise to attract most of the zombies away. All the students upstairs are ready, and the bus will come and get on the bus as quickly as possible. Separated. Chapter 12. Leaving school. Qin Feng took that classmate downstairs, and the upstairs also began to tidy up. Leng Mingyue ran to the playground alone. This is a good place, with only one door to enter, surrounded by very strong barbed wire, about 25 meters high. 2 pieces of pork were released at the entrance of the playground, and a pork was placed in the middle of the playground, which will attract zombies. And later several cars with serious collisions were released on the playground, piled up and burned, and Leng Mingyue ran to the side and hid. Soon several cars exploded, one after another. The huge movement attracted the zombies to run here because there was raw pork at the door, and they gathered along the door to the playground, smelling the smell, gathering more and more. After about 15 minutes, there were basically no zombies behind. Leng Mingyue came to the gate of the playground and released more than a dozen cars, blocking the gate of the playground. It's good to wait for the zombies to upgrade and have crystal nuclei in their heads in a few days to come and collect a wave. Leng Mingyue came to the library and went upstairs quickly because he saw which window had a branch just now, and he already knew the approximate location point. When I came to the 4th floor, I saw more than a dozen zombies blocking the door and wanted to rush in. There were still a few zombie corpses on the ground. I didn't want to waste time. A fireball went over and blasted several zombies. At this time, several rushed come over. Another fireball was condensed in his hand, and he threw it into the middle of the group of zombies. There was no time to condense the superpowers. He reached out and took out the fire axe from the space of Godhead and quickly chopped down a few zombies. Came to the door and asked, come out, the students inside. I will take you out of here. The Wooden branches blocking the door were removed, and there were a few students inside, standing in front of the pale Huang Can, the famous school belle. Leng Mingyue had also secretly seen the photos before. They were very beautiful, and could score 95 points. This is a pale face. It should be that the ability is overdrawn, and the wood type ability is actually the schoolgirl point. Well, let's see if we can trick the school beauty. Cough, cough. It's to see if I can become a teammate. Shouted to the classmates. There is a bus downstairs. Come downstairs quickly. I will take you to the safe zone. Several people rushed out when they heard that there was a safe zone. Someone accidentally bumped into Huang Can, and Huang Can would fall if he lost his footing. Leng Mingyue hurried forward to support him. At this time, the people in the classroom had already run away. Leng Mingyue was a little embarrassed to hold the school flower, and it was not right to let go. It was also awkward to hold point at this time. Huang Can said, "Help me sit down, I'll just rest." I tried my best to save them just now, but they all ran away. When they saw a glimmer of life, Huang Can shook his head with a wry smile. After speaking point, it seems that the current schoolgirl's attitude is not bad. Leng Mingyue said, "There is a bus downstairs. I will take you to the safe area, set up by the army in a while. It should be safe there." Huang Can glanced at Leng Mingyue and said, "So you won't stay in the safe zone?" Leng Mingyue found that this school belle is very calm and perceptive. She didn't leave much fame in her previous life, which must be due to her bad luck. "I still have a lot of things to solve, and I won't go to the safe zone yet," Huang Can said. "Then can I follow you? I can also kill zombies now. Very powerful. Why are you following me?" Leng Mingyue asked, looking into Huang Can's eyes. Huang Can came to the window, and Leng Mingyue followed. It turned out that thousands of zombies on the playground could be seen here. It turned out that she saw how to attract zombies just now, and took out the car from the space of Godhead. "I have a lot of secrets. As my team member, you can know it, but you can't reveal it to others. Otherwise, I will be the first to solve you. Can you keep the secret?" Huang Can said, "I swear on my life, if I betray you, let me be eaten by zombies. I don't believe in oaths, and I don't believe in zombies. If you betray me, I will kill you myself." Leng Mingyue's murderous intent of the last 10 years enveloped Huang Can at this moment. Huang Can was covered in cold sweat, but the murderous aura disappeared in an instant. She knew that the man in front of her was not simple. Leng Mingyue took out a bottle of diluted linquin and gave Huang Can to drink it. "Take her downstairs quickly." The bus had already stopped in front of the building, and Qin Feng hacked and killed several zombies under the bus. Let Xiaohua and Qin Feng get in the car, and let the students who drive the bus to follow. Leng Mingyue took out a normal motorcycle from the space behind the car, where no one could see, and drove it out. "Lead the way. The bus behind is relatively slow, and not as convenient as a motorcycle." In front of him, he took the car that had crashed and stopped on the road into the space of Godhead, and looked back. The bus could still go far. The students in the car should not be able to see it. Fortunately, the school is already in the suburbs, and the city is not far from the school. Although it has been cleaned up, there are still zombies that occasionally jump out of the roadside, and blood flowers appear on the bus. Students who drive don't need to recognize the road, but there is only one road ahead that is just enough for the bus to pass. Leng Mingyue has been several hundred meters faster than the bus. "Open the way ahead." There was no danger along the way. The front of the bus was damaged, and the front windshield was full of blood. After more than 2 hours, I finally drove to the gate of the barracks, where many soldiers came out with guns raised. Take all men and women to undress separately. Check to see if you've been bitten by a zombie. Leng Mingyue, Qin Feng, and Huang Can did not enter the barracks. Finally, he gave Fatty Khan a hug, and finally said, "In the future, I will often take on military camp missions, go out more to kill zombies to hone myself, and don't die prematurely. Take care." With Qin Feng and Huang Can, I walked towards the way when I came. Chapter 13. Departing from the grain depot. The barracks is already far away from the city, so there are no zombies here for the time being. Take out a car from the Godhead space. Qin Feng drives, Leng Mingyue is the co-pilot, and Huang Can sits in the back seat. The three of them set off. Qin Feng asked, "Brother Leng, where are we going?" The general direction is about 40 kilometers to the east of the city. There is a grain storage warehouse there to collect grain, so that we will not go hungry in the last days. But there is no rush. Let's walk along the road and look to see if there are any supplies. If there is, we will charge. Huang Can is a person with a clear mind and is very smart. Hearing that a granary can be collected, one knows that Leng Mingyue will have a very large space. It's not bad to follow such a person in the last days. At least you won't starve. The vehicle is walking close to the outskirts of the city so that some supplies can be collected and there will not be many zombies. I walked for about half an hour and there was a gas station in front of me. There are still many gas stations on the roadside. Qin Feng is familiar with this. I didn't collect all of them this time. This gas station is relatively large. It is estimated to have about 100 tons, and I collected about 80 tons. From time to time, several cars came from the road. Leng Mingyue greeted the two of them to get in the car. There are still many gas stations. There is no need to meet these people. In the early days of the Doomsday, guns were still very powerful. I don't know who can pull out a gun. It has been several days since the end of the world. If you don't have much food at home, you have already started to go out to find food. So now many people have driven out to collect supplies or fled the city. After driving out of the city, I found a flat and secluded place to take a rest and took out a lot of food. Huang Can volunteered to cook. Qin Feng was happy. Someone took over the job of cooking. After a meal, take care of personal hygiene. Continue to set off, and when it is getting dark, we arrive at a very prosperous town. There is a villa area on the mountain outside the town. This position is good, easy to defend, and difficult to attack. After reading the name of the town, Huanglang Town. Yes, this place can be used as a temporary stronghold. It is very close to the city, and it will be very convenient to kill zombies and get crystal nuclei in the future. The villa is next to the mountain. Even if a large-scale zombie wave strikes, you can run over the mountain. Not bad, not bad. Here tonight. Tell Qin Feng to find a villa that is closer to the inside with no one. There was a lock on the outside door. There should be no one in the house. They pried open the door, and the three of them went in and searched carefully. The villa has 3 floors above ground and 1 floor below ground. It is very luxurious. Check for zombies. Block the broken door from the outside with a heavy object. In the evening, Huang Can expressed that she was going to cook. Leng Mingyue asked, "What materials do you need?" Huang Can said, "I didn't do it well at noon. Do you really want to have everything? You can try. What do you need? You are welcome to click directly. I want a piece of tofu, a piece of grass carp, a pound of ham, a pound of mutton, and a pound of pork. Green onions, ginger, aniseed ingredients, garlic, potatoes, and beans. Good guy, the vegetable market is not as complete as you want." When these dishes and seasonings were put on the table, Huang Can was surprised. He thought he was joking, but he didn't expect that there were all of them. Ask Qin Feng to help kill the fish, leaving Huang Can to work alone. Take out a carrot and a bowl of spiritual spring water for Xiaobei. This is Xiaobei's dinner. The three of them drank diluted spiritual spring water, but what Xiaobei was given was pure spiritual spring water. I don't know how Xiaobei will grow in the future. In the living room, 2 men were smoking and chatting. I won't collect supplies tomorrow, just go directly to the granary. After collecting the grain in the god space, there will be no shortage of food for many years. The villa here is very satisfied. After collecting the food, he came back to use the villa as a base and began to clean up the zombies around. An hour later, 4 dishes and 1 soup were brought to the table. It smells so good. I didn't expect it. Don't all the college students these days stick to the spring water? Huang Can glanced at Leng Mingyue and said, "I like to study cooking the most. It's a personal hobby." Qin Feng said with a smile, "Then we will be lucky in the future." The 3 of them quickly finished eating and cleaned up. Leng Mingyue told them about the supernatural power and the evolution of zombies. Huang Cancan's would type supernatural ability because he was awakened very early and has a very high frontal talent. Now he can control the branches to beat zombies, and later it will be poisoned, strangled, and caged. The higher the level, the greater the power. Qin Feng's is a strength type ability, but it is quite special. His speed is also fast, his defense is high, and his strength bonus is large, which is equivalent to 3-line evolution. But the speed and defense are not as high as the strength bonus in the later stage. Coupled with the alloy weapons developed by the military, it is also very powerful. Said to the two. Right now the zombies are level 0. Basically normal people can kill them, but in a few days the zombies will evolve, and the speed after evolution will be basically the same as that of normal people, but the zombies won't get tired. So don't think about it. Race against zombies. At the same time, a crystal nucleus will be generated in the head of the zombie, and the ability user wants to upgrade or rely on the crystal nucleus. The two did not ask Leng Mingyue why he knew so much. I just know that the boss is not easy. After the lecture, the two of them were asked to find a room to rest, and because Qin Feng was driving, it was decided that Leng Mingyue and Huang Cancan would be on duty at night. The first half of the night for Huang Cancan, and the second half for Leng Mingyue, because the second half of the night is the most difficult. Huang Cancan was given a mobile phone, at least able to play some standalone games. It was already 11 o'clock, so I told Huang Cancan to get up at 3 o'clock and change her. Leng Mingyue and Qin Feng went to sleep. When I got up at 3 o'clock, I found that Qin Feng was also up, talking to Huang Cancan. Qin Feng said, "Boss, go to sleep. I'm not sleepy. I don't know if it's because of my supernatural ability. 2 hours of sleep a day is enough." Leng Mingyue knew that the water they drank should be the spiritual spring of the Godhead. Let Huang Cancan go to sleep. Throwing a pack of cigarettes to Qin Feng, Leng Mingyue didn't go to sleep anymore and started playing single-player games at 6:30 in the morning. Huang Cancan got up and made breakfast for everyone. The breakfast was very simple: white rice porridge, pickles, and 1 boiled egg for each person. I stopped collecting supplies, drove very fast, and arrived at the granary in an hour. This granary is very large. I saw that the gate has been destroyed. There should be survivors nearby, and I know there is food here. The three of them took Xiaobei into the granary and saw a lot of rice scattered on the ground, and they seemed to be in a hurry when they left. Are there zombies here? All three are supernatural beings and are not afraid of zombies. They are divided into 4 warehouses. The rice in the middle has been opened, and there is a message at the door. After seeing that there are 1,200 tons of rice here, the two are on alert, and Leng Mingyue starts to collect. After working for 4 hours, I collected about 1,000 tons. Some of them were removed by someone before, and some of them had their pockets torn and scattered all over the place. Walking to the granary on the left, Qin Feng opened the door. There was wheat inside. The information on the door said 880 tons. About 880 tons were collected in more than 3 hours. This is not easy to deal with. I found a noodle grinding machine at the back, which is easy to take away. When everyone walked out and wanted to open the warehouse on the right, a dog walked in through the door. That's right, the Chinese pastoral dog. Chapter 14. The dog that came in at the door seemed to be the neighbor's rhubarb. Gaozi got angry when he entered the door. He drove away a group of people yesterday, but came again today, barking at the 3 of them. Leng Mingyue rushed over. Leng Mingyue could tell that this was also a mutant beast, but he hadn't seen what kind of supernatural power it was. Shouted Xiaobei, "Bei has raised you for so long. It's time for you to contribute. Go beat this dog to the ground." Xiaobei reluctantly jumped towards the dog. This dog was raised by the granary to watch the door, and he even chased rabbits with him in winter. Seeing Xiaobei coming, he bit it, and the bite was empty. The rabbit suddenly disappeared. The dog was confused. What happened? Who am I? Where am I? Xiaobei teleported to the back of Gaozi and used the stunt rabbit to kick the eagle. No, now it's the rabbit kicking the dog, pushing the dog 7 to 8 meters away. If it is an ordinary dog, it can no longer stand up. But the dog stood up, as if nothing had happened, and rushed towards the rabbit again. Leng Mingyue won't be able to tell the winner from the loser for a while. This dog should be the ability of the evolved copper skin and iron bone. The paws gleamed with gold. It should be a gold type mutant beast. Leave them alone and open the warehouse on the right with Kinfeng. The curry in this warehouse is full of corn, and now there are 3 major staple foods. Looking at the information board at the door, there are 3,000 tons here, which is enough for dozens of lifetimes collecting and receiving. I kept receiving blacks, but Leng Mingyue was exhausted, and Kinfeng couldn't help him watching. All the rest were taken away. In some corners, there were some scattered ones that were not needed. I don't know if they were polluted. There is the last warehouse left, and I really have no strength. Take a rest, and my mental strength is gone. On the way, I drank the spiritual spring of space several times before checking to see that the corn had been harvested. Go outside, boy, they're still fighting. It can't be said to be a beating, it's just that the dog rushed over and was kicked by Xiaobei, repeating over and over again. He took out some ingredients, asked Huang Can to prepare dinner, and came to Gaozi. Using the remaining ability, he sent out a fireball the size of a basketball and dangled it in front of Gaozi. Gaozi is a metal type, and he is most afraid of fire ability, so he is naturally restrained. The dog ran out of the gate. Ignoring Gaozi, he gave Xiaobei a bowl of spiritual spring water and a carrot. Gaozi lay at the door and looked in, and saw that the eyes of liquid water were shining. As a strange beast, he was born to sense it, so it was a good thing. But dare not go forward. Huang Can simply cooked some rice and served it with a bottle of Lao Ganma. Simply eat the evening. Leng Mingyue recovered quickly because of drinking the water from the spiritual spring. This meeting has almost recovered. The environment of this granary is far worse than that of the villa. I thought about working overtime to collect the last one and go back to the villa. Take out a plug-in lamp and light up the warehouse. The last storeroom. Opened the door, looked at it, and there were all kinds of rice and beans inside, including glutinous rice, millet, barley, black rice, and purple rice. All kinds of rice. There are also red beans, mung beans, black beans and soybeans. Basically everything that can be found on the market is available here, but it is not as big as the previous 3 warehouses. There are about 400 tons in total, and they are easily collected. There is nothing left in this warehouse, and they have all been taken away. The 3 of them walked out of the warehouse and searched again to see if there were any useful machines. Find one that breaks down the corn kernels and you can have polenta later. There is nothing worth using. Several people came out and saw that the dog was still at the door. Seeing that the warehouse was emptied, Gaozi looked at everyone with hatred. Kinfeng said, "Boss, what should I do, or kill him?" Leng Mingyue looked at the dog and said, "There is nothing worth looking at here, and your master is gone. Do you want to come with us?" He took out a chicken leg from the Godhead space, and then took out a bowl of liquid water. "We have collected the food here, and as a reward, I will give you these, or you can follow us in the future." Gaozi ate the chicken leg and drank the liquid water, wagging tail at Leng Mingyue. Kinfeng didn't know about liquid water, so he said, "My good fellow, I've been bored for just one chicken leg. Alright, it's getting dark, so hurry back to the villa area tonight." Letting out the car, Kinfeng drove back, because the road had been cleared when he came. Going back was smooth. Over fulfilled the task today. Also got a dog. The earlier the awakened person or animal is, the better the talent is. That's why I keep the dogs back in the villa area. Several people discussed to give the dog a name. Kinfeng said, "It's called a Decepticon." Huang Can said, "It's called Kyushu Yaran." Finally, Leng Mingyue made a decision. "I will call it Dahuang." All the yellow dogs in our village are called Dahuang, and this one is not surprisingly called Dahuang. Huang Can, don't involve me in naming names in the future. 1. Little White. 1 Rhubarb is more suitable. Xiaobei teleported to sit on Dahuang's back. The big yellow dog is carrying Xiaobei around the courtyard. Leave them alone. 3 people entered the house and each ate an apple. Ready to rest. Because there is Rhubarb, several people are not going to be on duty at night, so they call Rhubarb. Tell it to be more energetic at night. If there is any movement, let everyone know immediately. If it behaves well, there will be chicken legs. To eat tomorrow morning. Da Huang nodded, rubbed against Leng Mingyue's leg twice, and was kicked into the courtyard by Leng Mingyue. You are a dog, not a cat. The dog leg. Rhubarb is on night duty, and Xiaobei plays with Rhubarb from time to time. Leng Mingyue was so tired that he went to bed early today. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15 Zombies Upgrade. Start to play Crystal Nuclei. The next day Leng Mingyue didn't get up. He wanted to sleep in, and had nothing important to do. Let Qin Feng take Huang Can and Ahuang Xiaobei to Huanglang Town. To get them used to killing zombies. In a few days they not only have to kill zombies, but also split their heads, to find crystal nuclei. Today's task, the two of them, each split the heads of 10 zombies. They slept until noon, and they still haven't come back. They are in a good mood today. Cook a meal for them, stew pork ribs, fry a ground 3 delicacies, and a fried lamb with green onions. All 3 dishes are very large. It's done. They just came back. Galzi and Xiaobei are bouncing around without worry. But Qin Feng and Huang Can's complexions were pale, and it seemed that they had vomited a lot. Huang Can said, Brother Leng, can you not chop off the zombie's head? It's too disgusting. I can't accept it. Let the two wash their hands and eat, and said, in a few days, a crystal nucleus will form in the zombie's head, and the crystal nucleus will be very precious in the future. The crystal nucleus is money, and you can trade any item you want. Practice here today, continue tomorrow. The two looked at each other. Okay. Give Rhubarb a chicken leg, a bowl of spiritual spring water, and give the little white rabbit a carrot and a bowl of spiritual spring water. Neither of them had any appetite, so Leng Mingyue poured water for them, and added a little more spiritual spring water. After drinking water, the two of them improved a lot. After dinner, nothing happened in the afternoon. I still want to collect some supplies, and the 100-acre space of the Godhead space is almost filled. Most of the zombies in Huanglang Town have been cleaned up. There is a gas station on the east side of the town, and one on the west side. Today, the east side will be collected first. Called Qin Feng. Huang Can followed, and recovered almost. For example, gasoline and diesel at gas stations should be collected as soon as possible, otherwise it will be difficult to collect if the equipment is damaged, or there are evolutionaries, and a fireball explodes accidentally, and it is wasted. Moreover, we have to charge more for gasoline now, and it will be used in more places in the future, and gasoline will be very expensive in 2 years. Only big guys can drive. It can also burn zombies. It is difficult for one person to kill a large area unless there are guns, so gasoline is a very good weapon for killing zombies on a large scale. In the early stage, the guns did a lot of damage to the zombies. When the zombies were upgraded to level 4, they were basically useless, and the skulls of the zombies could not be broken. The country will develop cold weapons and alloy weapons in the later stage. With the help of Qin Feng and Huang Can, it would be much faster. Huang Can rolled up the oil drum with a branch and sent it to Qin Feng. Qin Feng filled it up and put the lid on it. Hundreds of tons of gasoline were quickly collected. In the next few days, I met several waves of survivors. There were no team members worthy of development. I told them the safe zone of the military camp in the north of the city and let them go there. Collect basically everything that can be collected in the town. Clothing stores, outdoor goods stores. In the hardware store, not a single nail was spared, and all of them were collected. There is also a seed store, where you can grow and order vegetables after you settle down. Leng Mingyue's space is basically full, and the charge can be suspended in the room. Take 2 people, 1 dog and 1 rabbit, to cook food, watch movies, and play games. The next few days are nothing but killing zombies, cutting off their heads, and stirring them up. Qin Feng and Huang Can are already talking and laughing happily. It finally arrived. On the 14th day of the last days, it was already 10 AM outside, and the sky was as black as ink. It rained heavily. It didn't stop until 10 o'clock in the evening, and the temperature outside dropped several degrees. Leng Mingyue said to Gaozi, be more energetic at night. The zombies will collectively evolve to level 1 tomorrow, and be careful when going out. The zombies are already very fast, and if you ride a battery car, you may not be able to shake off the zombies. Moreover, zombies will also evolve 5-line abilities, and they will suddenly give you a fireball and a windblade, which is normal. This is the real beginning of the end of the world. It is very difficult for the survivors who have not escaped from the city to escape. At dawn the next day, Huang Kankan had already prepared breakfast. After eating breakfast, several people set off to start Crystal Nucleus today. There are basically not many zombies in Huanglang town. They have all been cleaned up, and there are still a few. Just in time, let's practice with these few. Qin Feng rushed out and cut down one with a fire axe. Huang Kankan controlled the branches to tie up two, and after Qin Feng finished, Leng Mingyue took out 2 boning knives for killing pigs from the divine space and gave them to them. Suppressing nausea. After tossing and turning in his head, Qin Feng finally found a white crystal nucleus the size of a soybean grain, looked at Huang Kankan for another 5 minutes, and finally picked out a crystal nucleus with a knife. Chapter 16. After cleaning up the sporadic zombies in Huanglang town, the two of them got used to it. The zombies that had been upgraded to level 1 were already quite powerful. A total of 15 crystal nuclei were collected. There were basically no zombies in Huanglang town, so they took out a car from the Godhead space and the 3 of them got into the car and drove towards the city. After driving for 20 minutes, I arrived at the gate of a residential area. The zombies in the residential area were basically scattered, and they were all indoors, so it was not easy to be besieged when cleaning up. Even if all 3 of them are evolutionaries now, if hundreds of zombies besiege and escape, the chances of escaping are very low. The 3 brought rhubarb and Xiaobei. After clearing 2 buildings, a total of 43 crystal nuclei were harvested. This is not a big gain, mainly to allow Huang Kankan and Qin Feng to adapt to the power and speed of the zombies, as well as the speed of digging the crystal nuclei. At the beginning, it took more than 10 minutes to find the crystal nucleus. Leng Mingyue's request to the two is that they must be collected in 1 minute, and there is not so much time to collect the spoils on the battlefield. At night, the 3 of them didn't go back to the villa. There are many rooms in the community. The 3 of them had no appetite and simply ate. Called the 2 and 2 animals together, took out the crystal nuclei harvested today, and harvested a total of 58. They are all white, with no powers. I gave Qin Feng and Huang Kankan 5 each, and taught them to put the crystal nucleus in the palm of their hand, and slowly absorb the energy in the crystal nucleus, and they can absorb 1 in about an hour. Seeing that the 2 people started to absorb, they gave rhubarb and Xiaobei 5 pills respectively. The mutant beast can also absorb the energy of the crystal nucleus. The mutant beast eats it directly in its stomach, and then slowly absorbs it. Leng Mingyue still has 33 crystal nuclei in his hand. Generally, a person can only absorb 5 crystal nuclei a day, and absorbing about 100 can evolve into a level 2 superhuman. Those who upgrade within 20 days to 1 month are considered to be very talented. If they have not yet awakened, the chances of absorbing the awakening with the crystal core will also increase. Such a person's talent can only be mediocre. The absorption speed of the crystal nucleus held in the hand is much faster than that of the previous life. It takes about 5 to 6 minutes for the absorption to complete. It took an hour to absorb in the previous life, but now it is more than 10 times faster. I don't know if it's because of the rebirth, or drinking the water from the spiritual spring. Continue to absorb. Absorbed all 33, sensed it, and advanced by absorbing 100. 33 is also 1/3, but Leng Mingyue sensed. It is estimated that the ability has increased by less than 1/10. Good guy. How many crystal cores do I need to upgrade? At this time, Qin Feng and Huang Kankan also finished absorbing, and their absorption speed was also much faster. It seems that it should be the effect of the spiritual spring water tomorrow. We need to increase the speed of hunting, and the crystal cores are not enough, Leng Mingyue said. The 2 nodded. It was already very late. Let Da Huang be on duty at night, and everyone went to sleep. Early the next morning, the 3 of them went downstairs. Today they planned to lure more zombies. It was still the old way. There was a private car in the community, which was set on fire. After a short while, a loud explosion attracted many zombies. The three of them started to chop the zombies. Rhubarb also stepped forward to help, and Xiaobai watched from behind. Rhubarb's combat effectiveness is also very good. Basically a few claws can kill a zombie. When the zombies were almost cleaned up, a few people suddenly ran out, 2 girls in front, and 5 or 6 men behind. The girl ran and shouted for help. It seems that half a month has dehumanized these people. The 2 girls ran to Leng Mingyue and said, "Can Big Brother save us? The people behind are all bad guys. They killed people and wanted to bully us." The man who came from behind was drooling when he saw Huan Can. This school beauty is much hotter than the 2 lollies. It has grown. And there are only 2 men on the other side. The leading man said, "Brother, don't worry about our affairs. Send them here obediently and don't cause trouble." Leng Mingyue said, "We are all survivors and we should help each other in this doomsday world. Let's go." The leader said, "We all dare to kill zombies. Their sisters don't have any offensive capabilities. We share the food we found with them, and they should give their bodies to compensate us." Leng Mingyue took out his backpack and threw it to them. "We only have these things. If it works, take it away. If it doesn't work, do it." The leader opened the bag and saw that there were several bottles of water, some bread and ham sausage, but there were not many things. "But I just saw how Qin Feng and Huan can kill zombies," the leader said. "Give brother a face, but I ask a question. What are you looking for among the zombie heads?" It seems that the leader is a smart person. "My name is Leng Mingyue, and I'm the captain of this team." "What's your name?" the leader said. "My name is Zhang Qiang, and everyone calls me Brother Qiang." Leng Mingyue recalled that in his previous life, there was a man named Brother Qiang who was very strong in the early stage and established a small safety zone. Later, Leng Mingyue left here for the capital, so I don't know if he persisted. The safety zone established by Brother Qiang has a bad reputation, but in the last days, it is not bad to survive. Like this sister who hasn't killed a zombie for half a month, has no attack ability, and the general team has long since abandoned it. Leng Mingyue said, "I can tell you this secret to make you stronger early, but you must ensure that women and girls are not forced. You cannot kill innocent people indiscriminately." Brother Qiang discussed with the people behind and then agreed. "I assure you, I promise to do what you said." Leng Mingyue said, "You should have noticed that the zombies are much stronger now than a few days ago." Brother Qiang nodded and said, "We used to be a dozen or so, but the zombies suddenly became stronger these 2 days, and we lost several brothers. Now that the zombie has evolved, it can be called a first level zombie. There is a crystal nucleus in its head. If you dig it out and hold it in your hand, it can absorb energy and upgrade your abilities." Brother Qiang and the people on his side were very happy when they heard it. Being able to become stronger means that they can survive in the last days. Brother Qiang said, "I don't want to thank you for your kindness. In the future, if you find something useful, just ask, okay? I hope that human beings can survive in the last days, and what you promised me, I hope it can be done. In fact, the secret of the crystal nucleus will be notified by the military or the government to the whole country by radio in more than 10 days, and it will no longer be a secret by then. Telling them in advance is to let more survivors survive. After all, we are all compatriots." Zhang Qiang threw the backpack back. The two shook hands and said goodbye. Qin Feng and Huan Can had already cleaned up the zombies and dug out the crystal nuclei. Leng Mingyue led the crowd to find a clean room and asked the 2 girls, "What's your name? Don't you have awakening abilities? If there is no ability, it can only be sent to the safe area. Now that the road is smooth, sending it to the barracks will not delay too much time." One of the 2 girls said, "My name is Lingyue, my younger sister. This is my older sister's name is Lingyue." Lingyue's personality should be more lively, and her sister Lingyue should be quieter. Sister Lingyue continued, "We don't know if the ability has been awakened." Leng Mingyue reached out and held Lingyue's hand and said, "Activate your ability." Lingyue blushed and ran with her eyes closed. Leng Mingyue felt that it was a blue ability. It should be water type. The attack was lower, and it should not have no attack power. Continue sensing. There is some green in the blue. Could it be that this is the legendary mutated water system, which has no attack ability because it is a healing system? Point said to the ringtone. Release your ability to me, Leng hesitated for a moment and then released a supernatural power on Leng Mingyue. Sure enough, she had no attack power and her body felt very comfortable, healed, and brought back physical strength. This is a treasure. Point he reached out to hold his sister Mingyue again, and Mingyue also blushed. At this time, Huang Kankan felt that her things had been robbed and looked at the pair of sisters very hostilely. Point the hand holding Mingyue felt it, but it didn't feel it. Could it be that ordinary people don't have supernatural powers? Asked. Has your body changed after the end? Mingyue said, I have become more sensitive, and I can know what's going on outside without looking. Leng Mingyue took a deep breath. This pair of perverted sisters, the younger sister is a 1 in a million healing department. The older sister is also a very rare psychic. In the late stage of the spiritual department, there will be mental shock and mental control. Point killing is invisible and hard to guard against. It is also the best teammate to prevent being attacked. Point this pair of sisters must be accepted. Chapter 17. The initial formation of the team. Ask Huang Kankan to prepare lunch. Even though it's not lunchtime yet, prepare in advance. Make it richer at noon. Prepare meat dishes one more time and add a few drops of spiritual spring water when steaming the rice. Point after a while, the aroma of the meat will come out. It is not easy to eat meat now. Basically, the preserved meat has gone bad unless it is dried or made bacon. Point sister Leng swallowed secretly. Leng Mingyue asked, what's your plan? You two? Do you follow us? Or go find your own way? Leng hurriedly said, you brought us food in exchange for us. We saw you and followed you, but can you give us enough to eat every meal? Haha, I can't guarantee anything else in the future. It's definitely okay to eat enough. Not only to eat enough, but also to let you eat well. Then, I told them about their supernatural powers, which were very powerful in the later stage. With two sisters joining the team, the combat capability has been greatly enhanced, and the battery life has also been extended. Point at this time, the food was ready, and there were more people. Leng Mingyue set out a larger round table, then 5 chairs. Leng and Mingyue stared blankly at the tables and chairs in the room. Then each set of cutlery. Point it's the same as a restaurant. 8 dishes each with a bowl of rice. Leng couldn't help but pick up a piece of rib. I ate it in big mouthfuls. Leng Mingyue greeted the bell and started with everyone. Today, the dogs are given pork ribs, braised pork, a bowl of liquid water, a little white rabbit, or a carrot, and a bowl of liquid water. It's still easier to raise rabbits. A green vegetable or a carrot will do. Point Leng burst into tears after eating a few mouthfuls and said, Leng big brother, why did you come here? Do you know how my sister and I have lived these days? We only have one biscuit or a bag of instant noodles every day, and we can only drink it every day. Half a bottle of water. Suddenly I want to cry after eating such a delicious meal. Mingyue's eye circles are also red. It seems that he has suffered these past few days and is often harassed. Huang Kankan thought to herself. Fortunately, she followed Leng Mingyue early, so she would not suffer a lot. Point a few people finished their meal and began to collect crystal nuclei. It has been half a day today, and they haven't collected a few crystal nuclei. There are more people in the evening. There are more wolves and less meat. We must collect more in the afternoon. Point this neighborhood is worthless because there are not many zombies in the neighborhood because of Brother Kayang's team. Several people continued to set off and saw a police station ahead. There are many zombies around. Point it should be that at the beginning of the riot, many people wanted to call the police and rush to the police station. Point after looking at it, there were about 100 zombies. Leng Mingyue decided to go head to head and hone the team's cooperation. Point tell Dahuang and Xiaobei to protect Leng and Mingyue at the back. Huang Kankan in the middle, Leng Mingyue and Qin Feng in front, each with a fire axe. Slowly approach the zombie. Point the zombies smelled people, and more than a dozen rushed over, and Huang Kankan took the lead. A thick branch plunged into the temple of the first zombie. The first zombie was killed with a single hit. Point it is indeed the first batch of awakening, with very high talent and comprehension. The branch pulled back, and brought back a crystal. Huang Can glanced at Leng Mingyue and Leng Mingyue provocatively pointed at this time. The zombies rushed to the front of the team. Leng Mingyue and Qin Feng did not retreat a step. They swung their fire axes and began to chop. Leng Mingyue closed his eyes and tried to attack the zombies, but there was no response. Leng Mingyue saw it and said, "Don't attack the zombies. Try to control the zombies with your mind. Let them kill each other." After several attempts, I finally succeeded, controlling one zombie to attack another zombie. All have been accomplished. Only the bell is left. Leng Mingyue cast a power on Leng Mingyue, although he was not injured, but his strength recovered a lot. Leng Mingyue slashed a zombie and gave Leng Mingyue a thumbs up. Sazun was very happy. After 40 minutes of fighting, wipe out all the zombies in the police station. Let Qin Feng and Huang Can teach the two sisters to dig the crystal core. They vomited while digging, while Leng Mingyue was looking for the weapon arsenal. The power of thermal weapons in the early stage is still considerable. Find a room where weapons are written and the anti-theft door is thickened. It took a long time to pry it open. Called Qin Feng up and said, "This door can't be opened. Let's smash the wall." The sound of smashing the wall attracted some zombies, and the three women stopped downstairs. The cement is very strong, and it took more than an hour to smash a hole, barely enough for a person. There are not many weapons inside, 10 pistols and 5 submachine guns. There are about 500 rounds of pistol bullets, and 1000 rounds of submachine gun bullets. No heavy weapons. In fact, Leng Mingyue most wanted grenades, or RPG. Forget it. If you want heavy weapons, you have to find the army's arsenal. It would be nice if the police department had these. Zombies kept coming to harass them. The two came out and saw that they hadn't finished digging, so they quickly finished digging together. Give each person a bottle of diluted spiritual spring water. These more than 100 crystal nuclei are not enough, so continue to set off. They were all small-scale zombies, and there were accidents along the way. In a group of more than 10 small zombies, a fireball the size of a wash basin suddenly shot towards Qin Feng. Chapter 18. Back to the villa. A fireball the size of a wash basin flew towards Qin Feng, but none of them could react. It was the first time they saw a zombie with supernatural powers. The fireball flew very fast and had already reached Qin Feng. Leng Mingyue threw the fire axe in his hand at the fireball, scattered part of the fireball, and about a third of it hit Qin Feng's shoulder. Qin Feng was knocked down to the ground. There were still a few zombies. Leng Mingyue directly took out his submachine gun, rushed the zombies, and quickly checked Qin Feng's state. The shoulder was bloody from the fireball, and he hurriedly called Leng Mingyue to treat him. Leng Mingyue released 5 abilities consecutively. Seeing that Qin Feng's condition was better, Leng Mingyue decided to go back to the villa to rest. Let's see how long it takes Qin Feng to recover. A car was released. Leng Mingyue was driving. Qin Feng was the co-pilot. The dog curled up at Qin Feng's feet. The 3 women led Xiaobei to the back and drove like a villa. Leng Mingyue, zombies have evolved now, and all kinds of zombies are very dangerous. Qin Feng, boss, I'm sorry, it was my negligence. Suddenly, a group of zombies appeared on the road, estimated to be more than 100. Now that Qin Feng is injured, it is very difficult to drive over there. With such a large group of zombies wandering around as a whole, it would be even more dangerous if the car was stopped. Leng Mingyue put 2 barrels of gasoline on the road. Then he started to reverse the car and honked the horn. The zombie rushed towards this side when he heard the sound. After rushing past the gasoline drum, he took out his pistol and fired a few shots at the gasoline drum. Boom. The huge explosion blasted the zombies into the air, and few of them could stand still. After seeing that Qin Feng was stable now, everyone got out of the car and became vigilant. I don't know if there are any high-level zombies that will make a surprise attack. Leng Mingyue got out of the car and walked towards the zombies. At this moment, he saw a zombie with a height of more than 2 meters. It's a bit difficult for a second-level power-type zombie, and now I'm still a first-level ability user. Fortunately, the power-type zombies are not as fast as themselves. It has just mutated, and it can be promoted to the second level. If it is left alone, it will definitely become the zombie king. Instruct Huang Can and Leng Mingyue to get rid of the first level zombies nearby. Quickly came to the second level zombie and chopped off the head with a fire axe. The second level zombies already have some consciousness and know how to protect their heads. reach out to block. An axe fell on the small arm and got stuck. The zombie reached out and grabbed the axe point. Although Leng Mingyue is very powerful, but not as good as strength. Lose the axe. Leng Mingyue took out a submachine gun and aimed it at the head of the zombie. The zombie held his head in his hands. Block bullets. Leng Mingyue took out 2 cars from the Godhead space and smashed them at the zombies. The second level power zombie was finally knocked to the ground. At this time, Huang Can also came over to help control the branches and tied the zombie to the ground. When one was broken, 2 grew. Leng Mingyue quickly picked up the fire axe from the side and threw it at the zombie's head. One axe smashed off half of the zombie's head. The secondary crystal nuclei inside can be faintly seen, but the zombie is not dead yet. The tyrannical zombie broke free from the branch and stood up again. Suddenly the zombie stopped moving. Leng Yu's face was pale. Leng Mingyue knew this was a golden opportunity and stretched out a fireball to blast the zombie's head. Half of the head's defense power dropped and it was controlled by the bell. The zombie head exploded directly. Huang Can. This zombie is too difficult to kill. Leng Mingyue, we were unlucky and we encountered level 2 zombies at the very beginning. The 3 of them were exhausted and collapsed on the ground. Although the fighting time was not long, the intensity was high and they were all challenges of leapfrogging. After picking up the second level crystal nuclei, the 3 of them packed up all the first level ones. Now there are more than 200 crystal nuclei that came out today, which should be enough for today's use. Several people got into the car and drove towards the villa. Fortunately, there were no groups of zombies behind. Back at the villa, he took out the medical kit from the villa and cleaned Qin Feng's wound to prevent infection, then bandaged it up and asked Ling Guyan to perform a few recovery abilities. Let Qin Feng rest. There was blood all over him. Leng Mingyue took out the bottled water and asked everyone to take a bath. Fortunately, some bottled water has been collected in the warehouses of supermarkets and shopping malls, and more will be collected next. An hour later, 3 beauties wrapped in bath towels appeared in front of Leng Mingyue, who almost got a nosebleed. Why did the 3 of you come out like this? It turned out that the clothes of the 3 people were all damaged and their close-fitting clothes were washed. Quickly took out a pile of clothes from the Godhead space for the 3 to pick out. After a while the 3 picked out a dress each. She is so beautiful, bright yellow. Needless to say the school bell, her body and face are impeccable. Ling Guyu and Ling Guyan, sisters, had dirt on their faces and torn clothes when they first saw it. After taking a bath, she changed into a suit of clothes, and she was no worse than Huang Xiao at all. Huang Can sat down next to Leng Mingyue, and then Ling Guyan quickly sat on the other side and took Leng Mingyue's arm with her hand. Leng Mingyue felt that her arm was being rubbed. Then he said seriously, everyone has seen the situation today. The zombies are getting stronger day by day, so we have to work hard. If one day we meet someone with a higher level than us, we will be in danger at any time. In fact, today's situation is special. Several of them are ahead of humans, and the zombies have just been upgraded. There are less than 5 zombies that have reached level 2 in the whole country, and they are just unlucky to meet one. Then let Huang Can prepare a simple dinner. After seeing that Qin Feng is fine, he can get out of bed, but his left arm can't move yet. I 8. Give everyone a crystal nucleus. 5 pieces were distributed to each person yesterday. Today everyone gets 10. Qin Feng only got 1 because it was the crystal nucleus of a level 2 power zombie, and Qin Feng was also a power type. He comes to absorb it, which has a bonus to strength. Leng Mingyue absorbed 50 crystal nuclei this night. Chapter 19. Take down the ringtone. Leng Mingyue absorbed a total of 83 crystals, and finally felt that he couldn't absorb them anymore. The energy contained in the zombie crystal nuclei became greater as the time passed. Ling Guyan and Ling Guyu were in the same room, and Ling Guyan asked, sister, does what we said before count? Ling, you asked, what did you say? It means that we will marry one in the future. Ling, you blushed, that's what children say, how do they count? Okay. Then, I want to marry Leng big brother, so you should marry brother Qin Feng. Brother Qin Feng is also good, he didn't dodge when the fireball from the zombie flew over. If you dodge it, you will be injured behind. Ling Yu didn't speak, and compared the 2 of them in his heart. Qin Feng was good, but compared with brother Leng, He lacks some charisma and some leadership skills. Leng Mingyue said. Do you have the final say? You didn't see that there is another Huan can. Look at that figure. The clothes in front are almost bursting. Men like big ones. Leng Mingyue whispered. I'm still young. I'll still grow. After absorbing the crystal nucleus, Leng Mingyue lay on the bed unable to sleep and was stimulated by the first 3 women. He remembered his girlfriend Zaozu from his previous life, whom he met after going to Kyoto 3 years later. I don't know if I can meet it in advance in this life. She was betrayed by a woman in the last life. What about this life? Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Dispel the mind of wandering thoughts. Women must be looking for. Otherwise what's the point of living? Leng Mingyue said in the morning. Qin Feng is injured and has difficulty moving, but the amount of crystal nuclei we need is relatively large. I want to go out and do a big ticket. Huang. Can. Brother Leng, I can help you. Ring. Tone. Leng big brother, I can treat you. Leng Mingyue waved his hand and said, I'll give you a day off today. I'll go back early, alone, riding a motorcycle, and taking Xiaobei out. This time it's going to be a big one. This time the target is the school playground point. Because the crystal nucleus is not enough, everyone cannot absorb it fully. A normal person absorbs 5 capsules a day. After drinking the spiritual spring water, the amount absorbed will increase, and the strength of each person's ability will also increase a lot. I took Xiaobei just in case, and I arrived at the school an hour later, and took a peek. Yes, they are still in the playground. Now Leng Mingyue is also very strong. Not less powerful than Qin Feng. Pick up a barrel of gasoline and throw it towards the zombie group. The zombie suddenly heard a voice, and began to become manic. Bite at the gas can. Gasoline spilled all over the place. Leng Mingyue continued to throw balloon buckets to the playground. Occasionally a piece of pork is lost. Come to attract zombies. Looked almost done. Pulled out a pistol and fired a shot at the gasoline barrel. There were successive explosions. The zombies were blown up into the sky, and those who survived were covered in fire. Zombies don't feel pain, and the fire burns bigger and bigger. The smell was terrible. Leng Mingyue walked to the dormitory. He wanted to see if there were any survivors in this school. Walking around the dormitory. After they left, someone should have been there. The dormitory was in a mess. There is nothing to collect. I came out and saw that the fire in the playground was already small. There was no fire at the edge, and there were thousands of crystal nuclei. I have to clean up quickly by myself. It would be bad for such a big fire to attract survivors. The zombies have been carbonized after the fire. Very good for crystal nucleation. Crush the head with 1 foot. Find the crystal nucleus. Next. When the collection was almost finished, there was movement outside the playground. Looking up, a dozen people came. The leader said, you burned all the zombies by yourself. I will leave you with 100 crystal nuclei and leave the rest to us. Leng Mingyue laughed angrily. It took me 2 hours to get back and forth, and I spent more than 2 hours burning and picking up things here. I will give 100 for 4 hours. Leng Mingyue ignored them. Continue to pick up. A younger brother came over to grab him, and Leng Mingyue knocked out several teeth with 1 punch. The little brother didn't expect that a dozen of them would dare to fight back. More than a dozen people rushed up together and were knocked down one by Leng Mingyue with 2 or 3 punches. Walking up to the leader, he said, I'll take it all away. Do you have any objections? The leader also thought that Leng Mingyue was so powerful and said, brother, we don't notation. It's all yours. You take it away. Leng Mingyue didn't want to kill them all. Human birthdays are not easy in the last days. Turning around to leave, the leader took out a pistol from his arms. 1 shot at Leng Mingyue. During the 10-year killing in the last days, he felt the danger, and he dodged to the side, and the bullet tore through his clothes. Leng Mingyue was furious, and raised 2 fireballs, turning a dozen people into lumps of black charcoal. Only those who have survived in the last days know that survival is not easy, and they know the horror of the zombie tide. I wanted to leave some survivors to resist the zombies together, but it seems that I can only rely on myself in the future. The end has just begun, and the greed of human nature has been exposed. Leng Mingyue finished packing the crystal cores, hurried out of the school, and returned to the villa without any danger. Everyone came out Qin Feng also came out. Leng Mingyue took out a sack of crystal cores and threw it on the ground. Said, from now on everyone try to absorb as much as possible. Upgrade as soon as possible. At level 2 we will act collectively and then go out to hunt crystal nuclei. Seeing that the clothes on Leng Mingyue's abdomen were torn, Ling Yan said nervously, Leng big brother, you are injured. Take off your clothes quickly and let me see. Ling Yan entered Leng Mingyue's house and told everyone to go out. She wanted treatment. After taking off his clothes, the bullets scratched his clothes and there should be a red mark on his stomach, which should be relatively close. After drinking a few mouthfuls of Lingpan water, he no longer feels the pain. Sazun cast the healing ability again. Ling Yan said, you take risks for everyone to advance. Take me with you next time and I will heal you. Sazun's hair was messed up with her hands. Ling Yan threw herself into Leng Mingyue's arms and the two fell onto the bed. When the two kissed each other, Leng Mingyue was still thinking about who I am and where I am. Am I not a sick number? Being reversed by a little lolly seems to feel good. Ling Mingyue waited in the room all night, but Ling Mingyue did not come back. Early the next morning. Chapter 20 Double Kill Huang Can. In the morning, Huang Can looked at the two of them with anger and remorse, regretting that it was too late. Leng Mingyue supported Ling Yan, sat down in the living room, and had breakfast. Let everyone sit down. Da Huang and Xiaobei are also there, and they can understand a general idea with their IQs. Leng Mingyue said, now there are generally first level zombies outside, and a few with good talents appear second level zombies. For the safety of the team, I went out to harvest it yesterday. There is one sack of crystal nuclei, which is only available at this stage. In the future, when the zombie level is high, it will have its own consciousness, and it will run away if it is in danger. So, everyone cherishes the present time. The ability level must be ahead of other humans and zombies. With level suppression, the danger is the least. From now on, in addition to absorbing the crystal nucleus, it is to go out and adapt to the supernatural power. You can't just use your power, Huang. Can. Okay brother Leng, we will upgrade the level as soon as possible. Leng Mingyue, everyone can do it. 2 bags of crystal nuclei are here. Take as much as you need. Kick the dog. You need to eat as much as you want. Everyone took a lot of crystal nuclei back to their own room. The dog ate more than a dozen and lay down at the gate, basking in the sun while absorbing the crystal nuclei. Xiaobei also began to absorb it. Normal people absorb 5 crystal nuclei a day and absorb 100 crystal nuclei in 20 days to advance to level 2 abilities. The members of Leng Mingyue's team have all been strengthened by spiritual spring water, and their absorption speed and absorption limit have been greatly increased. The disadvantage is that the number of crystal nuclei required for upgrading has also increased. The first one to advance was Qin Feng, because he had the only level 2 crystal nucleus. The second one is Huang Can, who absorbed crystal nuclei relatively early and has a very high talent. Ringtones are still absorbing crystal nuclei in closed doors. At night, Can Huang pushed open the door of Leng Mingyue's room. Huang Can has been struggling these days. Leng Mingyue is very good. It must be safe to follow him in the apocalypse, and eating is not a problem. I usually chat with Ling Mingyue and know that the survival of the survivors is very difficult, and they go through life and death every day for food. The threat of zombies is also very great. Now that the zombies have been upgraded, the outside is even more dangerous. I followed Leng Mingyue first, but it turned out that Ling Yan got there first. Today Huang Can mustered up the courage to push open the door. Leng Mingyue was absorbing the crystal nucleus when he felt someone coming in. He thought it was the ringtone. He didn't care about the lack of electricity. The room was very dark, and he slowly touched the bedside. Leng Mingyue stopped absorbing the crystal nucleus and hugged him into his arms. The woman in her arms felt tense. Leng Mingyue got on his horse. Forehead. It feels different today. Why is it so much bigger? After an hour, the wind and rain stopped. Leng Mingyue took out a cigarette and lit the lighter. Huang Can, why are you here? Huang Can buried her head in the quilt and said, I wanted to come in to see if you had successfully upgraded, but it turned out as A result, the door was pushed open again. At this time, Leng Mingyue extinguished the lighter and did not smoke because he saw just now that it was Lingyue who came in. What to do if you are caught raped in bed? Wait online. Lingyue undressed and went to bed directly and got into Leng Mingyue's bed. An hour later, Lingyue said, "Why is the bed so narrow today?" Leng Mingyue said, "I feel like I'm about to level up. You go back first and try to break through level 2 today." Suzune left unhappy. Huang Can stretched out his head and took a deep breath. "I'm suffocating." Huang Can hurriedly put on her clothes and went back to her room. Leng Mingyue really stepped up to absorb crystal nuclei. It was too exaggerated. He had already absorbed more than 800 crystal nuclei, and finally he was about to upgrade to level 2. Lingyue went back to the house and said to Lingyue, "I knew that Huang Can went to steal food, and I kicked her twice on the cold big brother's bed." Hearing the bell, he was surprised. "What's going on?" Lingyue said, "I saw her enter the cold big brother's room when I went to the toilet just now. I went to the door to eavesdrop, and I heard a voice that I shouldn't have heard. I waited outside for an hour." Ling, you said you won't catch the rape. You don't want to make brother Leng angry. Lingyue said, "No, I'll wait for them to finish their work before I go in." I secretly kicked her twice on the bed before I come back. Ling, you said you will be sisters from now on. You can't make things difficult for brother Leng, you know. Lingyue said, "She and I are sisters. We are sisters. Mine is not as big as hers. Sister, you have to help me. We two treat her one. You should also let Leng big brother accept it." Ling, you blushed and said, "Hurry up and go to sleep. You are not tired." Lingyue said, "I'm exhausted. I eavesdropped outside for an hour and fought against Leng big brother for another hour. Sleep, sleep." Chapter 21 set off to hunt zombies. Huang Can didn't get up to make breakfast in the morning. Leng Mingyue came to the kitchen, cooked a pot of porridge, took out 2 bottles of pickles, and boiled some eggs. Nutritional balance. They all got up one after another, and everyone sat together to have breakfast. Peeled an egg for Gaozi, an egg for Rabbit, an egg for Lingyue, and after looking at it, they peeled another egg for Huang Can. Feeling a little embarrassed, he peeled another egg for Lingyue. Lingyue blushed and said, "Thank you." Leng Mingyue glanced at Qinfeng, and Qinfeng quickly peeled it off by himself. Such an embarrassing meal in the morning. Lingyue and Lingyue came relatively late, and they are still at the first level. Qinfeng and Huang Can are already at the second level, and Leng Mingyue was also at the second level last night. Everyone decided to wait for a day. The ringtone and ring language can be upgraded, and let Huang Can take a rest. It is still a bit inconvenient to move around just now. Leng Mingyue took out a radio and fiddled with it. The safe zones have been established one after another. Listen to the radio to see if the surrounding safe zones are the same as in the previous life. Don't flap your butterfly wings. There are not many safe zones at the beginning of the Doomsday. When I was riding a motorcycle on the road, I attracted a lot of zombies, which created a chance for many people to survive. The radio signal is not very good, so I listened to it one after another. Here. Safety. Everyone. Supplies. Datang safe zone. Finally, I heard it clearly. This channel is the Datang safe zone. In the previous life, it was relatively famous, relatively large, and persisted for a relatively long time. After listening for a while, I vaguely heard shouts from other safe areas, but I couldn't hear the names clearly. They were all calling for everyone to go to the safe area and give everyone protection and supplies. There is still no shortage of supplies in the safe zone now, and in another 1 to 2 years, those who are not supernatural beings will basically have a bowl of porridge every day. In the afternoon, the bell level was raised to level 2. The sensing distance is farther. Controlling level 1 zombies can control 3. At 10 o'clock in the evening, the ringtone level was raised to level 2. Qinfeng just came back from training his powers in the yard, and a recovery spell can restore half of his powers. Big tits. Everyone will fight longer in the future. The receipt will be bigger, and when encountering the boss, the chance of survival is also greater. Leng Mingyue asked everyone to rest early and set off tomorrow morning to hunt zombies and collect crystal nuclei. Everyone went back to the house, and the dog ate more than a dozen crystal nuclei. Leng Mingyue said. Dahuang, haven't you leveled up yet? Are you too stupid? Xiaobei flashed on Dahuang's back. It seems to be saying, I'm already at the second level point. Rhubarb ignored Leng Mingyue, ate a few more, and crawled to the door. Leng Mingyue went back to bed, and didn't plan to practice today. Relax and get ready for bed. Keep your spirits up. At this time the door was pushed open. Leng Mingyue quickly took out the lighter and lit it to see who it was. Sassoon went to the window, blew out the lighter, and began to undress. After an hour, Ling Guyan left. Leng Mingyue couldn't sleep anymore. Women are so irresponsible, they don't care about themselves. Leng Mingyue was thinking about whether to go to Huang Can. At this moment the door was pushed open. Leng Mingyue hurriedly looked at the lighter. Huang Can came in. Leng Mingyue was happy, and his wish came true. Leng Mingyue, come on, does it still hurt? I'll check the wound for you. The next day everyone got up early, simply ate breakfast and set off. Leng Mingyue has first level crystal nuclei in his hands, and everyone at the second level absorbs less energy at the first level. The purpose today is to kill some zombies with supernatural powers. See if you can meet the second level zombies. It was very difficult to kill level 2 zombies last time, but this time everyone is level 2, so it should be easy. Point set off. Leng Mingyue took out a pickup truck from the Godhead space, the Great Wall Cannon, which is very spacious. Because it was just right for 5 people to ride in the car. Xiaobei was relatively small, so Huang Can could just hold him. Rhubarb has grown a lot in size recently, so let Rhubarb sit in the back of the car. The passing ability of the pickup truck is also very good. Qin Feng drove the car and led Mingyue as the co-pilot. There were almost no zombies in the vicinity of Huanglang town, and they set off in the direction of the city. After entering the city, they heard very dense gunshots. Tell Qin Feng to drive in the direction of the gunshots. It is a 5-story supermarket, very large, surrounded by a lot of zombies. There should be soldiers collecting supplies. Leng Mingyue saw a zombie emitting a big fireball. It should be a second level zombie, and finally ran into it again. It was still a fire type zombie. Qin Feng asked, will the boss save them? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22 Rescue. We came out to hunt crystal nuclei. There are so many zombies here that save us from finding them, and I like the second level zombie that can fireballs. Leng Mingyue said. Ringtone. Leng big brother, you actually like zombies, so I won't look for you tonight. Everyone looked at Leng Mingyue with strange eyes. Ahem, I like his crystal nucleus. Leng Mingyue quickly added. Leng Mingyue gave orders, prepared to fight, and put the pickup into the Godhead space. This pickup is very good, so don't break it during the battle. After looking at it, there are about 1,000 zombies around the building. According to the gunshots, there should be 12 people in a squad. If a few of them don't go to the rescue, they will definitely not be able to rush out. And there is a second level zombie outside. In the building was the team that came out to collect supplies from the safety zone of the military camp in the north of the city. There were 12 people in a squad. Several people were about to run out of bullets. Seeing the dense crowd of zombies, they were desperate, but they did not give up resistance. The squad leader said, we have to kill a few more zombies even if we die, and we have to die worthwhile. Suddenly, there was an explosion outside. One person shouted, did the squad leader come to rescue? The squad leader said, probably not. The explosion just now was not a grenade or an RPG. Leng Mingyue threw a petrol can at the second level zombie and blew it up with a pistol when he was about to hit the ground. Dozens were killed and many others were on fire. The second level zombie stood up and it seemed that the explosion just now did little damage to it. The sound attracted many zombies to rush towards this side. The second level zombies were the first to bear the brunt, and Leng Mingyue threw 2 gasoline cans, both of which were thrown at the second level zombies. The huge explosion blew up many zombies. Level 2 zombies also don't feel comfortable being blown off with an arm. The zombies have already rushed to the front. No more throwing gas cans. Save some gas. Also practice team battles. Leng Mingyue and Qin Feng stood in the middle of Huangcancan Station in front, and behind Lingayen Station, Da Huang protected the two daughters, and Xiaobei maneuvered to rescue. When the zombies came over, Leng Mingyue and Qin Feng turned their fire axes like a windmill point after the upgrade of Huangcancan's wood type ability. The branches are very sharp. A level 1 zombie can directly penetrate the skull, and the branches will bring out the crystal nucleus. Mingyue is also exploring how his abilities can improve his combat effectiveness. Leng Mingyue had never encountered a psychic in his previous life, and he couldn't help him. Mingyue put all his spiritual power into a zombie's head, and suddenly the zombie's head exploded. Mingyue's face turned pale. It wasn't an overdraft ability, it was a little disgusting point. It's also a nice combat ability. Ringtones are no longer experimental. Control 3 zombies in front of several people, so that the area under attack will be much smaller, and the 3 zombies can still attack outwards. Ringtones are the easiest. From time to time, cast a recovery ability on Leng Mingyue. Qin Feng received a big blow. Big sister, there is one person in front that you haven't seen yet. Leng Mingyue yelled. The ringtone saves the power. How long we can fight is up to you. Give Qin Feng a recovery power too. Several people harvested very fast. The team inside the building was shocked to see the fighting outside. Their army also has powerful supernatural beings who can fight 6 or 7 zombies by themselves. But among the thousands of zombies, 5 people did not retreat but advanced. It was so powerful that the squad leader said, "Others come to save us. We have to speed up killing zombies." Although the second level zombies only have one arm, they are also gathering fireballs. Leng Mingyue has been paying attention. The moment the fireball was sent out, Leng Mingyue grabbed a zombie corpse and threw it towards the fireball. The fireball hit the zombie corpse halfway and exploded. Leng Mingyue waved a fireball and flew towards the second level zombie. You are a fire type ability, and I will also give you a fireball. The second level zombies didn't dodge, and the fireball directly blew the head of the zombies away. The second level zombies were eliminated, and it was only a matter of time before the remaining first level zombies. After an hour, several people were almost exhausted and paralyzed. Finally wiped out. Lingyue said, "I won't waste any abilities anymore." At this time, a group of heavily armed soldiers came over and said, "Thank you for your help. If it weren't for you, we would definitely not be able to get out of this building today." Leng Mingyue said, "Are you from the safety zone of the military camp in the north of the city?" The soldier said, "Yes. How do you know that?" Leng Mingyue said, "Do you want the first level crystal nucleus here? If so, we can exchange some weapons with you." The soldier said happily, "Yes, many of our comrades in arms have no chance to absorb it because they don't have crystal nuclei. There are more than 1,000 here. We can give you supplies and food." Leng Mingyue said, "We don't want food. We want some guns and bullets. Is that okay?" Chapter 23, Changing Guns and Bullets. The squad leader said, "We can't decide to change the guns and ammunition. We need to go back to the barracks and report to our division commander." "Okay, let's collect the crystal cores first. I'll go back to the barracks with you. If possible, I can change some. If it violates the rules, forget it." Leng Mingyue said. With the addition of 12 soldiers, the crystal nucleus was collected very quickly. Leng Mingyue found this second level crystal nucleus not far from the second level zombie. This is now a good thing, and it is included in the Godhead space point. After putting away the crystal core, the squad leader said, "There are a lot of supplies in the building. Please take a look and install some if necessary." Most of what the soldiers packed was food, and a few of them went into the building for a stroll. There was no shortage of food, just to see if there was room for Leng Mingyue. Each of the women moved a few boxes of sanitary napkins for Leng Mingyue to enter the change space. Seeing that there are still a lot of bottled water in the warehouse, I also collected them. Qin Feng collected several suits. Leng Mingyue asked, "Do you like wearing suits?" Qin Feng scratched his head embarrassingly and said, "It's not that I like it. I couldn't afford it before, and it cost tens of thousands. It's the end of the world. I want to wear it to feel it. It's good." Leng Mingyue didn't care about how many people there were. All the cigarettes, lighters, and all the alcohol were taken away. After coming out, the 2 military vehicles of the soldiers were almost full, and they were all eaten. Leng Mingyue walked to a place where they couldn't see, let out the pickup, smoked a cigarette, and waited for them. After one cigarette was smoked, 3 cars set off. The journey was smooth and should be cleaned up frequently. Get off at the gate of the barracks for inspection, mainly to see if there is any injury. Leng Mingyue's car stopped at the door and did not go in. Waited outside for over 10 minutes. 2 Jeep military vehicles came out. The squad leader also got out of the car and said to Leng Mingyue, "This is our teacher Cheyenne Guozhen." Leng Mingyue said, "Mr. Cheyenne, I'm sorry to bother you today." Cheyenne Guozhen said, "This is not disturbing. I want to thank you very much for saving our soldiers. Let's stop talking here. Go in and talk, and drink some water." Leng Mingyue got into the car and followed him in without checking. If he had been bitten by a zombie for so long, he would have already transformed into a dead body. Leng Mingyue walked in the car and looked around. The fence of the barracks is not good. There are no higher level zombies wandering around with zombies now. After level 5 or 6, zombies already have wisdom and command ability and can easily break through the wall. I saw a lot of tents in the open space and a lot of survivors were here, and soon the barracks would not be able to accommodate so many people. Drive to the command post. Several people get off. Go into a conference room. Cheyenne Guozhen spoke first. "Listen to the squad leader. You have a lot of crystal cores and want to exchange heat weapons, don't you?" Leng Mingyue poured the bag containing the crystal cores on the conference table and said, "About 1000. I don't have a specific number. I want 10 Type 95s, 1000 bullets, and 10 grenades." "Mr. Cheyenne, you can do it." Cheyenne Guozhen thought about it. It is generally useless to fight zombies until the body is hit. It must be hit to the head. Not everyone is a sharpshooter. Basically, it takes 10 bullets to kill a zombie. It shouldn't be that much, but you still saved one of our squads. Then according to the amount you said, I'll have someone prepare it for you, but I have to say first, the guns and ammunition I gave you can only be used to kill zombies. They cannot be used to kill survivors." Leng Mingyue said, "Okay, I can guarantee you this." Cheyenne Guozhen said, "I heard from the squad leader that you can cut zombies in fireballs. What kind of power do you have?" Leng Mingyue said, "I'm just stronger. I'm a fire type power user." While talking, 2 soldiers moved things in. Qin Feng and Huan Can opened it and looked at it, then moved into the car. Leng Mingyue said, "Mr. Cheyenne, it seems that your place is full of survivors. If there are more survivors, you probably won't be able to let them go. Besides, everyone lives in tents. There are too many people. Zombies can be smelt from a long distance away. It will be very dangerous in the future." "What?" Cheyenne Guozhen said, "Yes, there is no way. Now I have been collecting supplies to feed these people. I don't have time to move them, and I haven't found a suitable place." Leng Mingyue said, "The place where we live now is a villa area on the other side of Huanglang Town. Huanglang Town is in a mountain depression, backed by mountains, and the road in front is also very well repaired. I suggest that, if you want to move, you can go there. The front is easy to defend, and the mountains behind can also be evacuated. There are many villas over there, and there are also several high-rise buildings, and Huanglang Town can accommodate a lot of people." Cheyenne Guozhen was very happy after hearing this and said, "Okay, I will send someone to investigate, and if it is suitable, we will all move there." Leng Mingyue asked again, "Is it because the soldiers go out to find supplies and support the survivors unconditionally?" Cheyenne Guozhen said, "Otherwise, they are ordinary people. Can they still be allowed to go to the battlefield?" Leng Mingyue said, "It's the end of the world, and the survivors basically have supernatural powers. They need to be trained to adapt to killing zombies, so that they can become stronger. It is impossible to let soldiers protect them all the time. If you move to Huanglang Town, you need to build a separation wall on the periphery. It must be high and thick to be safe. So if you don't want to face zombies, go to work. This is the normal mode of operation of a safe zone. In the future, if you want to live in a safe zone, you have to hand in supplies or crystal cores. No one will protect you for nothing." Leng Mingyue talked about the rules of the safe zone in the previous life, and Mr. Cheyenne was surprised. "Is it really the end of the world?" Can't rebuild civilization. There are soldiers going out to collect supplies now, and there must be losses every time they go out. Mr. Cheyenne, think about it. How many soldiers will there be in 1 year, 2 years from now, and who will protect the safe zone by then? Cheyenne Guotan thought for a long time. Leng Mingyue came out with everyone and searched for Fatty Khan in the barracks for a long time, but he couldn't find it. I don't know if he went out to kill zombies. See you by Fate Point. After leaving the barracks, everyone was given a pistol collected at the police station last time in case for need. This time I exchanged weapons with Mr. Cheyenne because I was afraid that the ability energy would run out at some point. This is also a backhand point. The submachine gun has not been given to everyone for the time being. It is not used yet, and it is inconvenient to carry and move. Leng Mingyue thought about putting submachine guns and bullets into the Godhead space, but he had collected too many supplies, and the 100-acre space was almost full, so when he put the bullets, his spirit sense swept in. My god, what happened? Chapter 24 Godhead Space Upgrade. With a sweep of consciousness, there are carts of vegetables and food in the divine space. Meat, clothes, shoes. They are all in piles, and I used to only focus on collecting them. It was never sorted out. Ability upgrades from level 1 to level 2. The Godhead space has also been upgraded. It turns out that the space of Godhead has 100 mu of space, but now it is scanned with divine consciousness, and the space is now 500 mu. The original piles of materials are now sorted out, like transparent shells, very tidy. 1 cube of grain is 1 cube. Each meat is separated. The clothes are all hanging on the hangers, as if someone has taken care of them. The space that was going to be crowded was suddenly emptied. Of the new 400 acres, 150 acres are the same solid ground as before. The remaining 250 mu is the same as the outside land, and there is an extra small river in front of the land. Leng Mingyue took some drinking water, took a sip. Okay. It's not a spiritual spring, my good fellow. If this river is a spiritual spring, it would be too much. This river is ordinary river water. These meanings mean that I'm allowed to plant land, 250 acres, which is not much to say. If one person sows, waters, and then harvests, he will be exhausted and unable to finish it. When I was thinking about it, I wanted to take some bottles of water out of the Godhead space and felt that the current Godhead space was like a part of my body. It suddenly occurred to me that it would be okay to farm the land with divine consciousness. With one thought, the 250 mu of land was turned over, and then with one mind, the river water was controlled to irrigate the land. Although nothing was planted, the experiment was a success. It is possible to cultivate land with spiritual consciousness. The task now is to collect the seeds. All kinds of vegetables, fruits, rice, wheat, corn, sweet potatoes and several staple foods can be found. When Leng Mingyue's consciousness was still in the Godhead space, Qin Feng had already driven to the city, and zombies could already be seen here. Qin Feng looked at Leng Mingyue with his eyes closed. He thought it was because he was tired from killing the zombies and was resting, so he parked the car to the side and waited. Leng Mingyue felt the car stopped, opened his eyes, and saw that there were already zombies around. Tell Qin Feng, look around to see if there is a seed station. If you don't have it in the city, go to the suburbs or towns. There must be seeds in those places. Qin Feng said that he had seen one in Huanglang town before. Is it a bit far to go back to Huanglang town now? Leng Mingyue looked at his watch. It was already 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and said, go back to the villa tonight. I collected the seeds in the town and took all the things that need to be brought to the villa because I told the military will definitely come. And Leng Mingyue is about to move. He is going to the capital. It was already 5:30 p.m. when we returned to Huanglang town. When we came to the seed station, it was really big. There are basically common seeds, and the amount is not small. Leng Mingyue took them all away. Then back to the villa, Leng Mingyue planted most of the seeds with his eyes closed. He wanted to experiment and see what kind of crops the land was suitable for growing. With 10 mu of rice, it is very convenient to divert river water. Then there are 10 mu of wheat, 10 mu of sweet potato, and 10 mu of corn. First, let's look at the 4 main beams as a potential safety hazard point. Planted some more vegetables. Many zombies were killed today, but the crystal nuclei were all traded. Fortunately, there were still remaining crystal nuclei. At night, everyone can still smoke as much as they can absorb to the upper line point after dinner. Leng Mingyue continued to work on the Shenge space, watering and weeding point. Another room. Lane was talking. Big sister, do you want to go? Or if you don't, I'll go. Mingyue was very speechless, and the younger sister forced the older sister to find her own man. While the two were talking, the door next door rang, so there was no need to refuse. Huan Daxiotha has already entered. The two came to the door to eavesdrop point after an hour. Chapter 25. Departing from the city center. Mingyue still ran back to the house. After Huan Kankan came out of Leng Mingyue's house, Mingyue entered point. The next day we had breakfast together. Leng Mingyue said, yesterday I was delayed for a day, and today I will go to the city center to do a few big ones, collect more crystal cores and supplies. After collecting valuable things, we set off for Kyoto. It is the center of political culture. It is also the largest safe zone. In the later stage, Kyoto was the first to launch alloy swords. High-level zombies are difficult to kill with ordinary weapons. Everyone packed up the things in the villa, and they will not come back here in the future. A few people took away the beds. They were used to sleeping on such a good bed, and they were afraid that they couldn't find such a good bed when they went out point or drive a Great Wall pickup. Gaozi reluctantly got into the backfight issue. Leng Mingyue prepared some extra gasoline barrels. There are also 10 grenades that were exchanged. If you encounter a high level in use in case for need point. Walking to the largest hospital in the urban area, many infected people ran to the hospital in the early stage, causing the hospital to be full of zombies. Let a few people hide. Leng Mingyue found a car and found a piece of tape to stick the horn. He conveniently put a can of gasoline in the car, stick it and hide it quickly. Car horn sounded in the hospital. The quiet hospital became restless. Many zombies rushed out of the building, and those upstairs were also beating the glass. Leng Mingyue took out a pistol and shattered the glass, and the zombie jumped downstairs. Thousands of zombies gathered together. Leng Mingyue took out a few barrels of balloons from the Godhead space and threw them towards the zombie group together with Kinfeng. Then shoot at the barrel point. Explosions blew the zombies away. Leng Mingyue shouted, work has started. Standing in a good position, the zombies rushed over, and the 2 fire axes that were already curled up turned around. Leng Mingyue said, while killing the zombies, this weapon should be replaced. It doesn't work anymore. Huan Kankan controlled the branches to collect crystal nuclei while killing zombies very fast. Gasoline bombing zombies is only useful in the early stage, and it is useless later. Now it can be used several times. 2 hours later, everyone killed all the zombies and collected all the crystal nuclei. Everyone entered the hospital, and the pharmacy was on the first floor. Collected medicines. A cold curry here also found. A lot of blood. It's probably overdue, but it's a good thing. To attract zombies, take all these things away. The scattered zombies upstairs didn't waste time. After leaving the hospital, I began to look for schools. Schools should be the most densely populated places. There is a middle school not far away, but the middle school is very quiet, as if there are no zombies, and there is a big willow tree on the playground, very tall. Leng Mingyue said to the crowd, look at the difference in that tree. Kinfeng said, this tree is more lush. Mingyue said, this tree is so thick. Leng Mingyue said, this is a secondary mutant plant. Everyone was surprised. Plants can also mutate. The fact that there are no zombies in the school should be due to this willow tree. Now that it is at level 2, its combat effectiveness must be very powerful. Everyone is ready to fight and accept this level 2 wood crystal nucleus. Everyone slowly approached. The wicker began to swing. The wicker entwined towards the crowd. No fire axe. Take 2 sharp short knives. Leng Mingyue and Kinfeng are at the front. Start chopping branches. The branches seem to be endless. Leng Mingyue shouted, stand back. After exiting 100 meters, the branches retracted. It seems that this willow tree is not easy to deal with. It is not easy to evolve and advance in the early stage. If you don't die, you can reach the top. Willow trees are afraid of fire. We still have to attack with fire. Get out the barrels of gasoline. Qin Feng aimed at the crown of the tree and smashed the trunk. After they were all doused in gasoline, without using a gun, Leng Mingyue used a fireball technique and exploded on the tree trunk, igniting the gasoline. The fire burns. The willows are swinging wildly. Dalyushu, human beings don't talk about martial arts. The fire was extinguished after half an hour. Several people walked over warily, sensing the bell. See if the willow tree is dead. Leng Mingyue closed his eyes and sensed, and said, the willow tree has lost its vitality, and the crystal nucleus has leaked out. Leng Mingyue took the crystal nucleus, and handed it to Huang Can. Huang Can happily accepted it. I can also absorb the secondary crystal nucleus. A few people were about to leave, and Leng Mingyue said, wait a minute, there is a vitality underground. After finishing speaking, a small willow bud sprouted out of the ground next to it. This can't be the mutated willow tree just now. That's right, and it's not. Dalyushu knew that he must die, so he left a way out for himself. Qin Feng stepped forward to chop. Leng Mingyue stopped him and said, wait a minute, Dalyushu said he would follow me. Leng Mingyue was surprised and said, what a smart mutant willow tree. Mutant beasts or mutant plants can be subdued. This willow tree has a high IQ. If so, then you should accept it. You drop a drop of blood on the willow tree. After Leng Mingyue dripped a drop of blood, quickly absorbed by the branches and leaves. There is a conscious connection between the bell and the willow tree. Leng Mingyue poured another bowl of spiritual spring water on the willow tree. Small willow buds spread out and then retract into the soil. Leng Mingyue shouted, Sister Dalyushu has run away. Leng Mingyue said, it's okay, the willow tree is evolving now. After waiting for a while, the willow buds came out again, and they really came out, wrapping around Leng Mingyue's wrist directly. Leng Mingyue said to everyone, the level of the willow tree has not changed, but it has evolved. Now there is no need to plant it on the ground, but the willow tree said that brother Leng will give him a bowl of water every day and a lot of crystal nuclei. If he needs to fight, he can plant it directly on the ground and grow up. Now this willow tree has two states. The non-combat state is a small willow bud wrapped around the wrist. If it is in the fighting state, it will take root on the ground. To output, everyone finally understood. Leng Mingyue said, this willow tree is not easy to cultivate well. It will be a great help for us in the future. Leng Mingyue is in a very good mood after accepting willow. This school is also clean and there are no zombies, so find a place to eat. He looked at the 5th floor of the teaching building and said, let's go up to the top of the building and eat while watching the movement below. Huang Can went upstairs and asked Leng Mingyue, what are you eating today? It's almost noon now. Leng Mingyue suddenly wanted to eat skewers. Have some beer. Take out 2 tables. Take out beef and mutton, and some dishes, some seafood. Several people began to wear skewers. Take out a skewer stove and let Qin Feng start a fire. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.